Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well today. Hello, Rob. Let's chat a little bit. So I'm gonna be 100% honest, chat. This is one of the worst weeks I have ever been through. I'm gonna try streaming today, see how I feel, but I likely will not be streaming tomorrow for a different reason. But anyway, we got through the Sword Forge of the why don't we chuck the Apprentice into the Forge portion of the story. So we didn't actually follow up with the Apprentice, who was not the apprentice he claimed to be. So basically, the favorite student was taking the place of the soon-to-be sacrifice, if I recall the plot from last time. Yeah, the week has been very brutal. Come on, GuJian, you can load. I believe in you. One day it'll appear. Then we have a D&D story to tell. Oh, that's not the right one. On the right one the first time. But oh boy, chat. We got stuff to talk about today. We have a lot of story times coming up at some point. So we'll see where there's a downtime. I know right now we're gonna dive right into plot, but we find a break if we're walking in a long alleyway. Or we're just kind of exploring a forest or something. We'll talk about it at that point. Welcome in, Parameter. Oh, speaking of which, I'm not even in the right area for this. Whoops. Alright, so it wants us to walk to the cave, which I think will be... Oh, it actually Oh, now it gives us a shortcut? Whatever, never mind. I thought we were gonna have like 20 years to have a discussion. Man, I wish I had that the first time I teleported out of the area. Kind of needed the game to give it to me after, unless I missed it the other time when we unlocked it. I'm gonna double check that there's nothing here. I knew what healing was. Still pretty good. Oh boy, chat. I don't even know where to begin. Work, I can't go into details, but... It's one of those things where I was basically... My yesterday was, I got up for 6:30 work, and instead of leaving early, I'd stayed late for production. So I was there basically 12 hours yesterday. Not happy, because I had stuff right after that. So instead of getting any kind of rest, I then didn't proceed to come home until almost midnight. I'm like, wow, what a day coming into today.
应该可以。再过半个时辰，月亮的光就会照在这块玉板上。
在这儿等着吧。
Now I guess we're just exploring the cave. Oh. Well, that's a dramatic transformation. We know somebody's been living in here, but we didn't really find out who.
真的打开了。
是个铸匠炉。
炉火还是燃着的。
Or maybe this is the old forge from the master. Maybe that's what they're implying. But they said somebody was living here recently. Unless the master is sleeping somewhere. I'm assuming he wasn't actually dead.
最好别碰。
The real world.
我听说有些铁匠喜欢在淬火用的池子里加进野兽的尿。虽然不是没有别的东西可以用，但有人会特别迷信这个。
那加这些有什么用呢？
让做出来的器具变得更坚硬。据说在锻打或是加热时也会这么干。早些年很多工匠都喜欢搜集野兽的毛发、指甲和脚之类的玩意儿。
那石门外的那个坑里，
多半是用在这上面了。但我觉得，这个人想要的还不止这些。
死了那么多。北洛，你又是怎么知道这些的？
家师习剑，也让弟子不要整天只知道练剑，有机会的话，多学学其他的。他很推崇营造法式和天工开物这类书。
这样很好啊，学会里的长辈也经常这么说。
So we learn more about our backstory. Apparently our master made us study swordsmanship, which is why we knew not to drink or touch whatever was in there, because it was either a combination of urine or beast parts in order to harden the sword. Some of it being superstition. Let's see what's over here.
看上去全是古代的东西，很多都破损了。这个人铸剑归铸剑，这么多器皿也不好好保存一下。
大概觉得没什么用吧。
怎么没用？这可都是很宝贵的东西。那我之前猜的也没错，这里十有八九是古代遗迹，后来被人发现了，清理出来用于铸剑。可这儿这么高，很多事情都不太方便，像是运东西、取水、排水。选这里，难道只是因为隐蔽吗？
可能也因为昆仑玉。昆仑玉所在之地，灵力便会比其他地方聚集得多。何况洞口有那么大一块，这个人也未必懂这些，但他在铸剑的时候，应当感觉得到。
原来是这样，听起来很有道理。
Basically, they're just confirming why pick such a remote location. They think it's due to the jade enhancing the spirit power of the area, which would enhance the sword. And our Explorer Society friend was not happy to see these urns in disarray because apparently they suspect he just simply didn't care about them. Is fair, I guess.
这儿的剑可真多，
都是最终没有铸成的。铸剑的人，大概是在尝试些什么？
是想打出一把特别好的剑吧？
不但好，而且多半是一把特殊的剑。如果只是想得到一柄利刃，这里废掉的未免太多了点。
Apparently, the swordsmith who picked a remote location never finished these heaps of swords. Let's see, we have one more thing to explore. Oh, I wanted to walk on it to see what would happen. It won't let me. However, I will levitate menacingly over the pit.
螺纹很高。
That was his observation. The temperature is really high. Sure, you know what? We're standing on this normally, Chad. I don't know what you're talking about. We started rotating. That was impressive. I don't think they thought people would actually jump up there. Oh, hey. Flying swords. Damn, our sword is sort of dominance over the whole horde. Oh, that was a very dramatic transformation. Is this a cursed sword? Something else.
"锋芒毕露，隐有神光，是一把好剑。"
看来先前的模样只是障眼法罢了。这柄剑不像是近年所猎，气息十分古老。
古老？那它会不会原本就是这个遗迹里的东西呢？它为什么要袭击北落？
大概是因为察觉到了太岁。
外面有声音，
哪里？
不算很近，在洞口那边。
是肖赞。
Yaozan. Okay. I'm gonna go back inside, see if there's anything else we can explore. But yeah, this week has just been garbage, I would be honest with you. I don't think there was a single night I came home before 10 o'clock. Most nights closer to midnight. That's why there have been no streams lately. But at least Friday was for a mostly good reason for not coming home to midnight. Not the working to basically from 6 to basically 6. But after that, I did some D&D. I think playing in other people's games helps me put, like, in perspective when I want to host my own things, or if I want to do storytelling, or if I want to enhance the experience of the stream, as it were. The do's and don'ts. You learn through example and also by... Well, I'm not going to call them mistakes, but... I'm going to say things I just don't appreciate in certain mediums. But anyway, it wasn't a disaster like last time, so it's not as bad there, but man oh man, are some of the mechanics and balancing like crazy. Well, let me just fall down without dying. It's real quick. Oh, I like how we can't teleport anywhere, but I could go to the load escape. Cool, okay. Yeah, we don't need to chase anybody. We're just picking up treasure. Don't mind us. Yeah. Firework lanterns. Okay. Oh shoot, I forget what we were looking for. I need these. Was it the lake I was attempting to explore? Literally everybody is exhausted except for one creature. That sucks. Hold on. We gotta fix that. That is like not negotiable. I can't do anything with that. I'm concentrating to make sure I don't spend an item I actually care about. Okay. Scallions I don't mind giving up, that's fine. I just want to make sure they're not asking for like rare dishes, because some of the people do, and it's really annoying that they want those. Alright, that is much better. I can actually do stuff with this now. So can we very briefly learn this before we go about D&D do's and don'ts? Wow, did that really require a 33 just to get it? That's kind of insane. Yeah, due to how hard this was to acquire, I'm gonna make them take the 45 minutes, chat. I'm like, oh man, that took both of our, like our first and fourth best. But still, that's a lot of resources towards just one thing. I actually don't think I care about this at the moment. Okay, they're still digging. So yeah, I think from the perspective of like fairness and balance, I will very briefly state, don't throw vampires at the party, please. I don't know if people know about vampires in D&D, but they're an extremely hard encounter in general. They're like notoriously hard to kill. And I will say the balls on the DM to say that we were taking a while to kill them. For those that don't know, it's a monster that regenerates 20 health every round, and it gets extra actions during people's turns, and every time it bites somebody, it can heal itself. This thing just takes forever to kill. So I was just like, oh my gosh, why would you put this with other monsters? Counterbalancing, please. Yeah, that thing is insane. I'm telling you, Chad, in 5th edition, I looked it up afterwards. It's like a CR 13 encounter by itself. As in, like, your average party level needs to be 13. We were, like, level 10, by the way. And that wasn't the only monster in the encounter. So I was like, what is going on? Madness. Absolute madness and folly with this counterbalancing. Makes no sense, Chad, I'm telling you. So anyway, that was a nightmare. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where, like, I feel like the DM was still being kind of vindictive to the group for whatever reason, and it did get kind of annoying at points, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't think a single time so far anybody has been allowed to detect traps while actively looking for them, which is kind of insane. It's like, wait, but we have investigate skill. and also high wisdom. We're like a party of like clerics and other characters. Like we should definitely be able to passively perceive it if nothing else. Like it's kind of insane. Oh, you can actually wait. What? You can fall down here? I didn't even know you could do that. Today I learned. Well, I'll keep that in mind for shortcuts later. But yeah, it's just kind of like one of those things where like, because the DM also doesn't like go into like a lot of detail as to who's happening. A lot of times he's just like, he'll just say something like, you take 18 damage. And I'm like, who did 18 damage to who? And then like, what caused it? Especially in D&D, there's so many like reactive abilities. It's kind of crazy to me. Like you can't shortcut that in D&D. You have to be very clear who you're talking to and what you're doing. So there were like several times where I was like, no, that does not work on my character. So, you know, I did start off with like more, I would say, descriptive actions of the spells that I was doing, especially if I haven't used them before. The party got like an intent of what I was doing. That was good practice for later. Yeah, it was just kind of one of those things where like I still feel like the DM was annoyed at me for some reason, but it is what it is. I like how at one point he's like, this is where I honestly think he hates my character, is I think at one point he literally said at like the start of the combat session, he's like, oh, you know, the, what is it, the artificer? Oh, that word is annoying to say. Was like didn't quote unquote do anything in the last combat, and I'm like, I literally did the most DPS. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What folly is this?
在山洞里铸剑的真是他。
住在附近又精通这个的，也只有他了。说是巧合都没人信。
他很小心，想必洞口是有什么布置的，只是我们看不出来。但他看了就知道这里被人发现了。
一早就怀疑这家伙有鬼。
So yeah, I think there was like a little bit of begrudging. I think he forgot like just how much I negated his encounter, or he was trying to play it off. I don't know why he said that. Rule number 1, don't ever say that to other players. I don't think that should be something you have to say, but like don't ever tell somebody that their character was useless in combat, like in or out of game, honestly. Like it's just rude on many levels. But anyway, I mean, I proceeded to prove him very wrong in the next couple of encounters, so if I hear any sass from him, I'm gonna be like, seriously? Welcome, Rafe. Hope you're doing well. Anyway, let's go check in on our swordsmith here.
你们追着我干什么？
那要问你都干了些什么？山洞里的铸剑炉，你该很熟吧？你说离开渭水剑罗后就不再铸剑了。 那么多废剑，难不成是从别的地方搬过去的？虽然我不清楚你们所说的剑谱上都有些什么，但你和你的师傅，应该是在做同样的事。你关心印铁山的生死，只是因为像你们这样的人并不多。那种铸剑的方法这些年来一直没能成功，所以你很想看看，自己的师傅是否有了别的际遇。在德同，你经常打猎。 猎杀到的野兽多半为了炉子，而野兽只不过是无奈之下的选择。对你们来说，最好的当然还是人，可随便杀个人就没那么容易瞒过去了。所以你用来埋骨头的坑里，人骨非常少。
那里面还有人骨？
看着很新，反正不是什么老祖宗的骨头。
但这些都只是你猜的，一些骨头又能证明什么？谁杀死的他们？ 铸剑的法子，你说的这些，我都不清楚。
但至少很可疑。我们要把你送去官府。
凭什么？你们先让官府愿意花时间听这些奇闻异事吧？还是说，你们就认定这些事跟我有关，打算私底下杀了我？
杀人？不。
既然这样。 你们拦着我做什么？
We didn't avoid the very obvious bear trap. What an idiot. I remember stepping on that last session.
不能让他就这么跑了。虽然我根本没想过杀人，但这种事，我们还是得把他交给官府，让官府来决定吧。
这么晚了，他又往林子深处跑，我们不能再追下去。
What do you mean we can't chase
可
him?
是，
听我的吧，先回村里去。
Why can't we chase him? What do you mean? Wait, he literally went in a bear trap. This is like the easiest way to chase him. He's not running anywhere, right, chat? What? It was like, wait, you can't chase a cripple into the woods with your magic flying power and ability to just get like a giant, like dragon-sized gopher to fly around in the woods? Okay, whatever. Honestly. Sure, why not? He's allowed to go back to the village for some reason. He's just too fast. It's impossible. I'll take out that annoyance by just AoEing everything from existence. Oh, our allies were not stopping him. Thank you, game. Appreciate it. It's too dark to see him, you're right. Don't mind me, just getting the massive AoE heal at the end of the fight. But yes, the DM is like the incarnation of Tyrells, but as I said before, like the encounters are just like really out of control. I don't know why they're so enemy dense. It's kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, so it was like one of those things where, you know, the session started on an awkward note because I was like, what do you mean I didn't do anything? I'm like, I literally negated like 5 attacks from the person. I did with like most DPS. I'm like, what? I literally helped 3 people with saves because I've like flashed a genius from Artificer. So I'm like, I kind of stopped the party from party wiping, but okay. If you somehow think that's not important, I don't understand. I guess he thought I was more of like a frontline tank or something, and like I kind of am, but I use a hand crossbow. It's very weird. I'm like, listen, I'm outputting like 30 to 35 damage every single round. The consistency is so high. Not a lot of people can do that without using resource. And I'm an attack target with high AC and good saves. Not good enough, you're right. At one point I had literally a maybe he got mad because I had a literally flawless encounter in the previous session where he couldn't hit me. Because when you pop a shield spell, you get your AC up by 5. And you just when you put your AC to 28, it's very hard to hit that in 5th edition. So I got swung on by like this great sword wielding character, and I was like, no. You might be triple attacking, but you're never hitting me. Get away from me. You gotta get away from me. Did the apprentice actually make it back to his other forge, who we suspected was murdering people, like his master was, in order to forge swords? As we stare at the moon for some reason. Okay. Not sure why we did that, but that's fine. Now loading. Hey, Sonic 06. Oh, it's doing daytime. Is that why it's loading? Because we said it's night. It's too late to talk to the constables.
部长，你让人给我带的话是真的吗？那个人真的还活着？部长，你怎么了？是太饿了吗？
一时没能冷静。 现在，我也不知道是愤怒多一点，还是高兴多一点。
如果你说的都是真的，那我们就能真正的报仇了。你告诉我，部长，你告诉我是不是真的？
是。
鼎湖
不在那里，我去过了。
怎么会？有时我想起从前的事，会不能相信已经过了那么久。当初的西陵，雷祖还在，淮西也还在，我们多好呀！为什么要去管别人的事？西陵为什么要做那些？明明有巫之堂就已经很好了。但是，既然我们决定了那样做，就一定要同等的回报。我绝不原谅有人把我们随手抛下，就算变成恶鬼，我也要报仇。我要让这个没有西陵的世上永远不得安宁。
没有哪一个西陵人会原谅。你说，他为什么要救那只辟邪？
他不是一直这样吗？救那么多不相干的人，却连自己的家人都救不了。
不，这一回绝不是什么不相干的人。他现在的神魂应当十分虚弱，破我阵法的那一剑，只是勉强而为。我之前在渭水剑炉里杀了一个祭灵族，他并未出现。其他梦域中也是一样，不管发生了什么变故，他依然不出现。可偏偏我要杀那只辟邪时，他出来了。也就是说，他有一定要这么做的理由。辟邪嘛，我会再试一试，顺便想办法把他引出来。
怎么引？
他现在不出来，无非是死的人还不够多。
吴正，你让我去看的那个老头子只剩下一口气了，和死了也差不了多少。
有一口气已经足够。
你要带谁走？
只不过是做一只血偶。
竟然是血偶！
那样杀妻灭徒的畜生，难道我还要留着他的神智？
I'm asking when are we playing Sonic 06 on stream? Probably never. I don't enjoy platformers. Let alone downloading 06.
萧赞如何能够对付深山里的野兽？
对付不了他也得拼一把。他很清楚，我们之中最容易被他的说辞唬住的是岑英，哪怕只是一时间。一路下来，他对我们两个肯定会有所顾忌，害怕我们不管不顾，当场取他性命。既然往村子的路被挡了，他就只能跑向山里。而且他没那么鲁莽，如果我们不继续追，他也不会再深入。如果我们紧追不放，他仍然有点保命的手段。
保命的手段？
他脖子上的那串骨链，应该来自于某只非常强大的野兽。不管是怎么得来的，其他野兽多少会忌惮那上面残留的气息。他倚仗的，也正是这点忌惮。在真正的杀意起来之前，找到一丝空隙，要是能有个稍微安全点的地方躲藏一下，等到天亮，就会好很多。
天亮？
但是，他能等到那个时候吗？
Oh. Well, I guess we're hunting him down.
你去策狼群去追他。
我只不过把他的去向稍微透露给了头狼，之后怎样，就看他自己了。我说过了，生死有命。
Are we sure we're the good guys? Wait a minute. So we just summoned a pack of wolves to go hunt this guy down. Well, I guess that's the end of the Apprentice. Like, just like, yeah, no, we totally had that guy off. Don't worry about it. Just go back to the village. It's fine. So interestingly, it won't let us teleport yet. Well, GG Apprentice, right, chat? I guess his forge is no longer in use. Oh man, chat. D&D. I'm looking for a good break. Maybe we'll go to the Lotus Cave and continue our story for a bit. We have recipes we could do. I was thinking when we were looking at the villain, I was trying to remember what the pattern was reminding me of. I'm like, I guess it's supposed to be like moth colors, right? It's like not quite butterfly-esque on the main villain's back. I was thinking about that earlier. Oops, I didn't want to plant rice. I was gonna say, this has to be nearly done. I was gonna say. Okay. We might have enough to do what we need to do. So yeah, I guess it kind of came into like an interesting scenario. Like, what would you do, especially at like a larger game? Well, not larger game, but in a party where there's like people that potentially are in and out for various reasons. When you're down a party member, quote unquote, and then they come back the next week. I thought it was kind of awkward that they, and by they I mean more the DM, didn't really have a great way to reintroduce them into the story. That's definitely something I want to think about if I end up DMing again. Give me a second, chat, as I check, Wait, somebody messaged me something. It's not that important. Just making sure it wasn't a work call or something like that. That would have been the worst. So let's get this crafting thing out of the way and continue the story a little bit. So it's one of those things where I'm not sure what the goal would have been. And I feel like it was definitely awkward because of how long it took to get there. A few tongs. That's easy. So one person basically was there and didn't actually really get to play at all until like the final 20 minutes or so. Furnace is ready. What is next? Drum up a gale, get a breeze going, stir. Probably a breeze. You always put air in the furnace. So, I don't know. I would have been kind of mad if I was that player. Like, imagine being there for like 3 hours and just not getting to participate until like the last half hour or so. I don't know. That's just kind of stuff where it's like, I don't think that was really thought through. I don't know if he just assumed we would just like really quickly deal with like with a vampire with backup. Or I'm just like, I don't know in what world you would do combat without the other character. Oh, we need to figure out where to get pearl shells. Never mind. I thought that was a bit misplaced. I'm gonna see if we can get sandalwood from somewhere. Oh, did they literally finish as I did that? Oh, speaking of sandalwood, it's from Datong Woods. Well, that answered my own question. I'm the best that I have, but I don't know. I mean, in similar scenarios, I know it's kind of awkward if it's like media res with some of the stories. Like, how do you naturally have people come back into the campaign when they've been on a break? Or like you're in a dungeon, for example, and they weren't there at the beginning of the dungeon. How do you naturally include them? And I feel like it's a pretty wide range of things that you could do. But yeah, putting the person in like a room that we can't get to essentially until we're done with the boss is not a good idea. Call that one out. So I felt bad for that player, as I said before. They basically didn't get to do anything. And unfortunately, that party member was our big damage source. So we were basically just a party of pretty much all spellcasters and me. I was like one of the only damage sources on the entire team. I'm glad I chose to go there, or else they probably would have party wiped, to be honest with you. I'm tempted to look up how to get Pearl Shell. This is now like the second or third thing that requires it. Is this something I can naturally get here? Sorry, I'm distracted by this. I don't see it in the mining list, but that doesn't mean it won't appear. So I won't get it there. Might look it up later. But anyway, from that standpoint, going into like this longer chain of combats, it was just kind of ridiculous, honestly. Sure, let's make whatever this is called, Whispering Everlasting Blossom or Whispering Bloom. I like that it has two names. I don't really understand why, but it is what it is, I guess. Get a tailor going. So I think that's always kind of an interesting scenario of what do you do when people are out for a while. I'm trying to think what I would have done in a similar scenario. I mean, I'm sure they could have had an NPC guide them here. Oh, hold on, we have a question. I need to dye the bolt from yellow to grape. How should I do that? Dye in simmering water. Dye with indigo. Lotus seeds. Well, indigo's like purplish. It's indigo. Indigo with hematoxin makes it bright and non-fading purple. There we go. Today we learned. And some plants for reference. Probably this. I love there's just fruits over there for some reason. There we go. We can pretend we're helping by just giving moral support. Need to dye the bolt from white to pink. What component should I use? Well, indigo is probably not the right answer. Walnuts and Sephora flower buds. Sephora flower and safflower. I'm assuming you just combine two flowers. Sure. We'll pretend I understood that. Right, Chad? Sure. Why not? Yeah, sure. We're making wild guesses out here, Chad. I'm like, I don't know the answers to these questions offhand. I'm glad it's multiple choice. But it's just one of those things where I think from the perspective of DMing, I think it should just be first and foremost the players should have a good time with whatever it is they're doing. And I feel like by sidelining people, it feels kind of awkward. Like, I know it could be like you're trying to figure out a way to naturally include them, but at the same time, you really shouldn't have anybody waiting that long in order to join in. Or like, if you know there's going to be a big combat, why wouldn't you include them before the combat in a similar scenario? Like you have total control over the layout of a place the players have never seen before. So why wouldn't you just rearrange the orders of rooms? Do you know what I mean, chat? Like you could have this big thing where like one of your friends got captured, etc., etc. Hand me a mallet. Is there anything other than the small hammer? Not really. Oh, carpet carpenter wants something. Oh no, not the carpenter. You can make me cut wood. Please don't. Blue and green ores. Okay. Not required. Does that count as blue? Probably not. Okay, there we go. White always has like a tint of blue to it. I'm like, I think it wouldn't. You need blacksmith. Here's the needs to be, what should I use to make it? Emerald and white gold. I mean, gold is the most malleable. Saltpeter sounds explosive. I don't know how you would mold with emerald. I'm assuming the two valuable metals are what's being used here. Yeah, exactly. Easy to forge. There we go. Look at that, chat. We guessed our way to the right answer on that one. I was like, oh, like, I don't know. We're on a roll so far. It's not too bad. Unfortunately, the research does require me to read occasionally as we go through these. I should probably save again, because I really don't feel like killing the chickens for the poultry meat again. Why do they make a sound when you kill them, Chad? It's like actually the worst. You know what? I have a sneaking suspicion it is going to ask me what the items look for. Give me 1 second as I take a look through our item menu. What does lotus leaf look like? Okay. I'm going to try to memorize that's what it looks like in the bottom left. Because I'm assuming we're going to have to pick it out of a box at some point. Okay. Let's try that again. Because sometimes it's like, I know what the item is, but how does the game represent what we need there? It's like our cooks are at a decent level. I'm just trying to involve people so they hit level 2. That's my philosophy right now, because it unlocks more recipes when we do stuff like that. Also, goodbye our money. So, yeah. Find marinated poultry. Well, this is the only poultry I can see. I'm assuming he doesn't want the fruit that's next to him. I'm definitely curious how people would handle that kind of similar scenario. How would you introduce players in a dungeon that's already in the process of being completed? Well, there's the lotus leaf. That made it easy. Okay, I was worried he would actually give me like 20 green things, and I'd be like, okay, is this the lotus leaf? Run out of fire logs. I can hand him a kitchen knife? Why? That's not even... What kind of task is that? It's like, go find the wood. Your choices are full of fruit and knife. Like, okay. I mean, like, I feel like most people would understand what he wanted there, but sure. So, yeah, as I said before, I feel like the particular DM goes fast and loose, which is not necessarily a bad thing to be like a stickler for rules, because that can turn some people off. But at the same time, if you're going to be fast and loose, it kind of has to go both ways. Like, you can't be a stickler for things that impact, like, your monster, but then, like, fast and loose players to try to, like, skip their checks. Do you know what I mean, chat? Like, you gotta be real careful with it when you do stuff like that. And in particular, I will still say it's an ongoing problem. Oh, I didn't need to heal that person. He was already max level. That was a mistake. Unfortunate. Goodbye that meal. You could have gone to a better place. Either being guided by NPC or have them captured off screen and conveniently be held in the prisoner's dungeon. Yeah, so actually, so funny enough that you say that. So funny enough, they were captured in the dungeon, but the problem, as I said before, is that they made it so that they were after all the encounters. So they were like the last thing that we came to, instead of just rearranging the room slightly or where people were. And there wasn't a way to get to them sooner due to how they designed the dungeon. So it's not like... So you're right in that you can have that because they were off on their own, and you could say like, oh, they got betrayed, etc., etc. Yeah, it's just like they just were sitting, as I said before, they were sitting there for like 3 hours. Like, it was a long time because they put the boss and all the boss's minions before that, instead of it being like you break them out and the boss catches you, which would have been like a more natural scenario, I would say. It didn't feel very thought through. Yeah, exactly. Like, why? I'm just kind of sitting there like, why did you do this? I don't understand. So, yeah, we were kind of down any kind of massive damage. I think our party was the equivalency of like a cleric, a druid who is like also multi-classing cleric or something like that, a barbarian who's like the only front line, me, and a wizard. I think we're the party at the time. So there's like a decent number of people there. Don't get me wrong. This guy needs to level. Please level. Actually, this guy doesn't need... Let me remove this guy. I don't need him. Congrats, he's your reward. Not very rewarding for the player, but congrats nonetheless. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, carpenter. Boo. Don't make me cut wood, please. Please find me a tool. Engrave the wood. Well, today I learned a birin looks like a wood carving instrument, so there you go, chat. Today we learned. Assuming the blacksmith wants something for me. I'm gonna make the exterior of the sculpture smoother. Fine polish, scrape with razor skip. I mean, polish, right? I suggested about haste makes waste. What? That's not what we told them. Assuming you want something? Okay, good assumption. Red threads. Well, there's literally thread here. At least that one I had to think briefly. The other ones were just kind of dumb. They're just like... it's like, find me the flowers, and then there's literally just like tools and only one set of things that remotely resemble that. It looks like we're attaining a ton of recipes because we're upgrading people. That's a good sign. Oh, speaking of which, I don't think I told anybody to fish. So from the perspective of going through doing this dungeon, one big problem that has been prevalent throughout, and I still really don't appreciate it, is the fact that almost no saves or things like that are really given to the player. So like the player has to be like 100% on it, and it is not the DM kind of helping players, which is not a great way to approach the game, to be honest. Like as I said before, or I'll remind people that weren't here last time, I guess. So there's like a mix of people that have played before and have not played before. So it's kind of ridiculous to assume that new players understand all the things they could do in relations to saves and stuff like that offhand. And there were several times I know I had to like speak up for another player because I knew their character. It's just one of those things. I've played the game before, and it's like if I didn't say anything, they wouldn't get the bonuses that they have naturally on their character and stuff like that. So it doesn't feel very friendly, I would say, from that standpoint, to make sure that, you know, everybody's character abilities get a chance to shine kind of deal. And like I get that it can happen on occasion, like a DM will forget like a line of text on a character sheet, but I mean, like, this is why it's really important, like if you're planning for certain abilities to happen, that you should really be comparing it to your player character sheets for like more proper balancing, because I feel like the intent of encounters is to give everybody a chance to shine in different ways, and just not be an inherently hard encounter. Like I always think if there's something is going to be like above curve on like the average challenge rating, that there is something that players can do to potentially, you know, soften the encounter, or they could get like information leading into it that makes it easier, or there might be things in the dungeon that they can explore and naturally might pick up some solutions to things later down the line. Like there's a lot of ways you can handle potentially difficult fights. Or let's do ocean delicacy, I guess. But yeah, it was just kind of one of those things where we went in with, you know, we're literally hunting a big bad. who was apparently like working with another big bad. And then while we're fighting the second big bad, because this is the new session, so we beat the first one in the first session, then this is session 2 in the same dungeon. Oh, it says I'm gonna fail? Really? Oh, because he's only level, yeah. 1 second as I fix this. Let's give you plus 50. Now I should pass. So it's definitely one of those things where it is extremely difficult to like believe in the Matryoshka doll villains. Reminded me of Yakuza. Find green vegetables. Oh no. I'm assuming you want that. Don't want this. Don't want this. Don't want this. I don't know honestly if you would consider that. I'm assuming no. Okay, good. Just like, it is green, but I don't think it's what they want. I'm not sure how to cook the steam fried rice and shrimp. Fry with rice, fry rice separately, then fry together. I mean, you... Yeah, I think you always fry separately, then fry together. Yeah, it's kind of... yeah. Straightforward, I guess. Almost forgot to add seasoning. Hurry before it's too full of fresh water. By seasoning, do you just want the wine again? Or is there, like, actually something else? Oh, there's spices there, okay. It's like, last time they asked for it, I swear they wanted the fine wine. Just, like, triple checking. There we go. We acquired it, chat. We didn't. I'm gonna get an idea on the timer on this one. Okay, we're not that far off, so we'll just wait here for a little bit. So from the perspective of, I would say being fair to other players, it's important to kind of just work with the player. And I feel like that's just been an ongoing issue with like the particular DM, where it feels like it's very much like us versus them rather than like the DM trying to facilitate like a good time. And it comes across that way due to, as I said before, like the fast and looseness of some of the rules that are 100% in the monster favor and not in the player favor. And I said before, it can happen, or you might forget a couple lines or two, but to be so consistent and ridiculous, like there were even several points where people at the table that had not had as much experience as I had spoke up before I could say anything, and even they were like, no, that makes no sense. They're like, go check that rule, that doesn't make any sense. Like, my favorite was at one point, the DM was trying to say that moving into combat provoked attack opportunity. And we're like, no, absolutely not. Right, chat? Absolutely not. Actually unwinnable. Like, please don't. It doesn't even make sense. I know you're upset that the players are moving into combat when you're attacking them with stuff, but absolutely not. It's not like they're using spears or anything. It was just like I think it was a vampire that came up on. I don't think I want any of these. Kind of unfortunate. I guess I'll just do this in the meantime. Yeah, it's this. So it's just one of those things where gotta be really careful about the impression you give other players as you play. And I do think like you don't want to go into like overly flowery language while you're in combat, unless that is like really agreed upon, because combat is usually the longest element of a game. Especially since that combat that night was I think 13 or 14 rounds. It was kind of insane, chat. Like we burned out of things that were a minute long, which is not a good sign. Combat should never usually go that long. But it was just because like the DM kept introducing more and more and more and more creatures. So like what should have just been like 2 or 3 encounters with breaks in between was just complete sustained fighting the entire time, which was not great, since the game isn't really meant to operate like that. I was just looking at the bottom, it said Snow Fortune Tofu. Okay, I mean, like, I guess stamina recovery is not too bad. So, yeah, as I said before, the goal of the DM to say the combat took so long. I want you to know, overall in this one combat, which spanned at least 2.5 hours of the time that we were there, was a vampire, 3 dire wolves, a mind flayer, and I don't even remember what the other creature was. Oh, a minotaur. And a minotaur. All of that in one combat. Like, do you hear how many, like, any one of those alone is usually a boss? To be honest with you, we thought the mind flayer was the boss because it was the thing that was like actively targeting us. Oh, this is not enough crafting ability. Sucks. Oh, the other person's exhausted. Let me go fix that real quick. But yeah, it's just like all of this stuff happening back to back to back, and as I said before, really fast and loose with how line of sight works and stuff like that, and even to some extent cover, or even like how some of what happened was possible. It just didn't make any sense, like, to be honest with you. Like, we somehow got ambushed in a two-way corridor, but we killed everything in the prior room. There was no other way to get to where we were, yet we were still back attacked somehow. That was never explained, by the way, by the end of the session. I'm like, how? There's no other passages. What are you talking about? Like, did the Minotaur, like, phase through the wall? Like, how does a large creature not go noticed in, like, a 5-foot corridor? How does it even fit in the 5-foot corridor? It just opens so many questions, chat. I'm telling you, it did not make any sense. I'm like, whatever. We're here now, I guess. I did not mean to give him that. Killer's burned out. That sucks. It was too dark to see, pretty much. Yeah, and then the thing that actually did annoy me a lot is he started talking about facing, like, what direction are you facing? And I'm like, it doesn't matter in D&D. I literally told him that at one point. I'm like, facing is not relevant in combat in D&D. There is no such thing as the direction your character is facing. I'm like, don't even get me started on how much that annoys me. This is not Final Fantasy Tactics. There is no, like, backside to your character in D&D. Do you know how annoying that would be to track in D&D if you had to care about that kind of stuff? I'm like, there's already enough chaos going on. So I felt like he was trying to ambush me repeatedly, and I'm like, listen, DM, there is no such thing as facing in D&D. I'm sorry. They're either on opposite sides of you or whatever, but I have passive perception. Don't tell me that I haven't seen something, because I allegedly wasn't looking at something. I was not having it, as I said before, in combat. So, like, don't do nonsense rules like that. Don't try to overcomplicate a system that is already kind of kludgy when it comes to combat. Like, don't do that. And as I said before, it's not to the player's benefit. Sorry, I'm gonna have to kill some chickens. Rip chicken. It's not that it was to the benefit of the players. It's because he wanted to make sure that he could back attack me, and I know this was the case because I was informed where basically one of the monsters was, and I cut him off from being able to enter the room. So it's just kind of one of those things where I'm like, listen, I know you want this very dramatic scene to happen. It can't happen though. Like, you have to acknowledge that the whole point of certain character things is to not allow whatever it is you're trying to have happen. That's D&D. If you want to ambush people, don't do that on the person that can't be surprised. Like, you can't surprise my character. Of like, I have one of the highest perceptions in the party. I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. So yeah, it was some nonsense for like what direction was I facing. When I heard that, I'm like, you're trying to pull some nonsense. I absolutely know you are. I might save on this one. I'm not feeling confident. We only get one shot at this one. So yeah, rule number 1, don't add additional rules if you are not really comfortable with it. And then I would say, like, in terms of preparedness, I thought it was really weird that he seemed like kind of so lost with his own encounter. I don't know if he like changed it or something like right before the session, but like there was like a very long gap in combat to the point I definitely just got up, had food, ate the food, and he still wasn't ready. on like his own encounter. I'm like, why don't you have it open when we come into these things? How would you design the base of a water mill to make it steadier? I have no idea, Chad. Wide top, narrow bottom. Same with top and bottom. Narrow top, wide bottom. Probably wide bottom. Yeah. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Oh, Mike. Oh, I have 3 more events. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm not gonna pass with only 2 more events. Let's see. Please. No, you want me to cut lumber. No, I hate the lumber cutting mini game. Oh, Chad, I'm gonna mess it up. It's gonna get mad at me. I think I messed it up already. Come on. I hate how precise that is, Chad. I really do. Wait, research. We're reloading. Just... The lumber cutting is the absolute worst. I had no faith I was gonna do that first try. Oh, lumber cutting. You're the absolute worst. It's so finicky. And I'm like, this is where you would just measure it. Like this, like, why do I have to be so precise with it? That's not how you do carpentry. Speaking of rules that are nonsense. Guess I'll do partial HP recovery or something. Let's see if I can level some people here. Oh, he's really injured. I shouldn't use that. So yeah, I do think being able to run an encounter smoothly is definitely very core to... is very core to making sure that people have a good time. And I do think to some extent it was definitely player fault for why some of the turns took a little bit of time. And again, that just comes down to like experience. Speaking of experience, chat, I'm ready to fail this minigame again. But like here? Oh, barely. The woodcutting minigame is such booty, chat. I hate that minigame. It's like so unnecessarily difficult. Give me a hammer and help me hammer the bamboo. And then look how easy this one is. So much easier. And if you fail to nail it, you just try again. You are truly greased lightning? What? Oh, okay. I don't understand. I need you to make the watermill turn faster. Surface area? No. I got it wrong, apparently. I don't know what the answer is. Damn, I got the wood cutting, but not the other one. Oh boy, we're gonna be at this one for a while, chat. Well, it's about time I failed one of these. So sad, I gotta do the wood cutting minigame again. The absolute worst. Well, it's either the top or bottom answer, so that's always good. I think I'm just gonna go for like bare minimum to succeed here. Not worry about this. But rule of cool, yeah, pretty much. Wide bottom. This one is like just actually the worst. I hate how precise this is. Here, here, and here. Okay, there we go. I at least have a visual for the forecut now for the middle one, because that's the one that usually gets me. But yeah, I think when you get focused on like a big scene, you have to acknowledge that players are allowed to kind of interact with the scene. And if you don't have the moment that you want as a DM, you just kind of have to take it. I don't know what to tell you. Like, listen, players can outsmart you. Let them have their victory. I'm gonna say add more impellers because thickness doesn't make sense. Yep, thanks, jerk. Right, chat, thanks. Anyway, we got the water wheels out of the way. I think it said something was ready for collecting, so let's go deal with that. love how fast the crops grow. They're just like, yeah, basically ready. So yeah, I will say though, I was getting annoyed at some of the other players. Not in terms of how long they were taking their turn, but what they did with their turns. I just found extremely irritating. Why is it telling me I found 0 bauxite? Why even tell me that if I didn't find it? I don't get it. Whatever. Whatever you won, game. Sure, that made sense. Get our mining abilities up. Yeah, we probably need a bunch of that ore for later. And we need to figure out how to get pearl shell from something. Could be something we end up fishing later. I guess I should double check to make sure. Because we do have like clams and oysters. It wouldn't be like out of left field to have put it in the fishing management game. At some point. Anyway, I'll have them fish so I can make more meals for later. So, from that standpoint, going into the game, it definitely felt like a uphill battle. Just not like... It's not necessarily a bad thing to do, like to make the players feel challenged, but... I'm telling you, Chad, when we have 3 people that can heal, and not one of them healed me until like round 10 of combat, I'm like, are you guys kidding me right now? Right, Chad? Like, could you imagine in like any other D&D game surviving 10 rounds of always being attacked every round and not one person bothers to heal you before round 10? That to me was insanity. I was like, I'm like, guys, like, please come help me. I'm tanking a Mind Flayer, a Dire Wolf. I'm getting also attacked by the vampire. I'm like, guys, someone heal me. I beg of you. I'm trying to dodge so much damage right now. I'm burning spell slots every turret on shield so I don't die, or Flash of Genius so I don't get overrun by like raw spell damage. Like, please. I beg you. Oh, I thought we did the tofu. Did I not save before we did the tofu? Maybe I didn't do the tofu. I might have read it and then just forgot to do it. Oh, you know what it was? I think the other person that was our cook was not able to cook. Never mind. Disregard. Oh, hey, our other person hit level 2. There's anybody that isn't level 2? Just our tailors? It's fair, I guess. So yeah, I think from that perspective, the preparedness in terms of, you know, preparing descriptions, how can the tender tofu be cut in a way that retains best shape? Frostwise, slowly cut with wet butter knife. I mean, tofu's kind of weird. I think you do it with a wet butter knife. Yeah. I'm assuming I'm just gonna be here the whole time. Like tofu to be more flavorful. Mince it, marinate, hollow. I'm assuming you hollow out the tofu and stuff it with something is where they're going with this one. Stuffed tofu could be a tasty idea. Yeah, that makes sense. Because, I mean, it's tofu. Oh gosh, we had the horror vision briefly. Mine dishes must look appetizing as well. How do you think I should plate the tofu? Put shrimps on tofu. Plate shrimps next to, underneath. Well, I mean, normally you... It's one of these two. I'm assuming it wants it next to it. There we go. Yeah, we had the brief zoom in of the gopher vision. Look how happy they are. They're dancing. Because I think that's what the... Oh, it didn't... Yeah, I was going to say, I think the image had the shrimp to the side. I was also trying to remember, because we saw the image of it earlier, is what I was saying. Where we collected all that stuff. Oh, we're capped out on feathers. That's good at least. Don't worry about that for a while. Seconds for that. Oh boy, chat. So yeah, as I said before, I think the other players at least understood I was more experienced. I actually had them asking me like what spells they recommended and stuff like that. So at least the players I think acknowledged I had more experience with D&D. So that's always a good sign. Like I have not played a whole bunch of 5th edition, but I have played like a lot of role-playing games in general. So I at least felt like the other players understood I knew what to do with the game. I don't know if the DM understood that I knew what I was doing. I think they were salty about weapon swapping last time. I think that's what it was. I think it's still a holdover from that. Oh, we do have something else I can learn. Bloodstone. How badly do I want to use the Bloodstone on this? Maybe. Alright, let's finish off the crown stuff first before we use our one of fun of. I just want the bare minimum to succeed here. Oops, I didn't mean to hit the button. Yeah, it's probably fine. Also, I like that I'm bankrupt, by the way. I went from 12,000 to barely 4,000 total. But you were just using the saw. What do you mean I need to cut something open? I literally saw you using the saw. Why did you put that down? You fool. Right, chat? Wait a minute. That was a BS request. Something seems amiss? Yeah, you forgot how to saw briefly. What a simple way to polish a large jade. What should I do? All of them are wooden handle. Chicken feather, bristle, or shovel. It would be either feather or bristle. I'm assuming bristles are better at cleaning, by definition. The pig brush is indeed useful for both scrubbing and polishing. The answer's that question, I guess. Oh, I see that ominous pot of water. I'm assuming you want me to go get that, yeah. Some of these are much easier to do than others. That woodcutting minigame is nonsense. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm really curious what the cleric and druid spells were. Especially when we're in a game involving a lot of undead and vampires, and I hear the phrase, I don't have any sources of radiance damage. And I'm like, but you're like a level 10 cleric. What do you mean you have no sources of radiance damage? Wait, that's like the only thing you should be bringing into a game involving undead and vampires. What do you mean? Right, Chad? I'm like, wait, how is that possible? Don't you have like 5th level spells or something right now? I'm so lost, Chad. So definitely some very questionable player choices from people that did not take advice from me. Needless to say. I mean, I don't feel like you have to be the master of the game to know that vampires don't like sunlight. I'm just like, I would hope it would be evident pre-game without any 5th edition rules. That somebody would understand that. I'm like, you should probably resolve that somehow. Are they trying to play a pure healer? Like, that's where I'm not sure if they were, and I think that is kind of a mistake of newer players to assume that the only purpose... Oh, see, there's another use of the Bloodstone. I don't really want any of these, to be honest with you. Can we get Bloodstone from this? I just want to verify. Oh, we can. I'm just unlucky. Okay. Maybe it's not too bad then. Just send some people out that need to be leveled. So they did a lot of healing. They had like one class ability that did divine or radiance damage, I think. And that was about it. They apparently didn't have any other abilities somehow as like a pure cleric. Knowing that we were definitely 100%. It's not like vampire. The vampire in that area was a surprise, which was annoying because there wasn't really a clue that it'd be a vampire lair, especially since we followed a mind flayer there. And then apparently the Mind Flayer was afraid of the vampire. And I'm like, oh, okay. So apparently the thing that we thought was the mastermind was just yet another henchman. Kind of like whatever on that one, to be honest with you. Alright, we'll rip our Bloodstone, I guess. Hopefully this will be good enough. Welcome, Kirk. We're just very slowly going through D&D story stuff as I do the research. Oh god, I had to go for vision briefly. Any problem with building? It was either uneven or chopped easily. Do you have a solution? I don't think you can dissolve gold in hot water. Saltpeter is explosive. I'm guessing the answer is mercury. Sure. Today we learned, chat. The others just didn't make any sense, so... Please bring me a fan. There's a pot lid. Oh, that's a mirror. Okay, never mind. Almost thought that was another fan. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's just it's flipped upside down. I guess that's what's happening. Exactly. It was a big Yakuza moment. That must be embedded in the bracelet. How to deal with the metal part that's blocking the gem? Remove metal parts. Make a rough facet, smooth facet. You know what? This one sounds the most pretty. I'm gonna choose this answer for make smooth facet. Okay. You know what? Our guesses have been on point. There's only been a few of these I've known, but we're not doing too bad in the 50-50 war here. Rough facet doesn't make any sense for jewelry. Why would you want anything rough on something that's supposed to look good? But anyway, I think we're doing good here. Yeah, Kirk, just to clue you in, just to catch you up. So apparently, the DM thought it was a good idea to have a party member that was not there in a previous session captured in a dungeon as a way to introduce them into the session, but only after we fought the big bad. The big bad was surrounded by like a bajillion big bads, including a minotaur, a vampire, a bunch of dire wolves, and a mind flayer. And I was just like, oh my gosh, there are so many things that we are fighting here. And like, I get that maybe the dire wolves were summoned by the vampire. Like, I'm willing to say, like, that's fine. Like, there's certain abilities where I'm not sure if somebody actually used summon or if it was just a natural ability of the creature. And that happens, you know, it can be hard to gauge CR from that. But like, seriously, that's a lot. Yeah, like, even if I discount the dire wolves, like, hold on, chat. We're gonna look up in real time. What is the challenge rating of a Minotaur for future reference? I'm really curious. I did not look that up. So it's the challenge rating of a vampire is CR 13, by the way. In context, the Minotaur was, assuming it was not modified from base, it was CR 3. Dire wolves are I'll find it eventually, chat. Google let me down right now for the quick lookup. CR1, which makes sense. We ignored those. Mind Flayer, I want to say was a 7. Yeah, it's a 7. That's a lot of... that's still a lot of creatures, chat. Like, again, the dire wolves, this isn't before. I kind of viewed them as a summon. I wasn't sure if it was like an innate ability at the time or just like a side effect of what was there. So those I don't care about. But it was more like dealing with the Mind Flayer and the Minotaur and the Vampire all at once. It was just kind of annoying, to say the least. So we were level 10, just to give Kirk additional clarity. So, like, the Mind Flayer wasn't too bad. It's not, like... It's threatening in the sense that it was being used with a lot of illusions, and unfortunately the DM was playing extremely fast and loose, especially with the what direction are you facing. When he told me that, I just gave him a look. I'm like, no. Facing does not matter in D&D. Don't try to tell me these things. So he was trying to, like, ignore line of sight, because at one point I said, you know what? He wants to use illusions and hide himself in darkness, so he's, like, untargetable almost the whole combat. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put up an illusion of my own. I'm just going to tell him that I'm summoning bricks. And if you want, like, I will roll a deception check as needed. Oh, there's the gold guilders having a good time there. Just to block his line of sight. And I said to him, like, in order to dispel it, you have to interact with it in some way and waste an action to figure out what is going there. So I shut that Mind Flayer off because he had him, like, hidden in a hallway with the darkness spell. And he could somehow see through true darkness, which is already like, okay, I don't believe this, first of all. And then it was like all this other stuff. And I said, you know what? I'm putting up a wall. Just, I don't think he saw it coming, but I'm like, listen, if you want to do nonsense to me, I don't have to play your game. I'm not entering your hallway of darkness. Get out of here. I know, like, Kirk, didn't you appreciate that? I'm like, I'm tired of you. You're gonna have to leave your little darkness corner. And then I purposely stood on the other side of the wall, so if he ever tried walking through it, he would just bump into me, and I'd be like, okay, well, now I know he's there. So you're gonna have to move, idiot. And then, as I said before, he kept doing like all these dramatic things, and they kept ignoring like player rules. Like somehow the Mind Flayer got behind me, even though I'm guarding the place on purpose, knowing he's coming that way. And I'm like, did he acrobatics through me in order to go through my space? Because he ended up on the other side of me, and I'm like, that's not really fair. Right? Like, I'm like, no. You can't just go through my space. You have, I am literally blocking a 5-foot passage. Right? Do you see what I mean about the fast and loose? I'm like, just because you want this big surprise ambush on me, I'm like, it's not an ambush. I know about it. Don't try to tell me that he took me by surprise. I can't be surprised. I had the Helm of Awareness on. You can't surprise me. I'm actively looking for the creature and cannot be surprised. I don't know how to break it to you, DM. You can't ambush me. It's not possible. I'm like, I already know of your location. It's impossible, right? And he still tried to do it to me, and I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. I told him that at one point. I'm like, no. No. Nice try. It's like, no. Yeah, do you see what I mean? Like, as I said before, I feel like I did annoy the DM at some point in the previous session, and he definitely had it out for my character. And as I said before, a lot of it just comes into like, I don't know if it's because he's specifically trying to jam in stuff to have like this big moment where it's like, aha, I got a 1-up on the party. But I'm like, I already know what your plan is. Like, I was too far ahead of you. I use your own illusion magic against you. I don't really care. I'm like, just get out of here. And I kept the Mind Flayer. I kept the Mind Flayer out of combat for like 3 rounds. Like, it tried doing like AoEs through it to try to hit me, which is already kind of BS, to be honest with you, because it shouldn't assume that it can do anything. Like, by definition, the Mind Flayer wouldn't know that it could go, like, its effects would not go through walls, so why would it activate it, kind of things. I'm gonna find a fabric suitable for handle. Which part do you recommend? Oh boy, I have no idea. We'll try again. Good thing we just saved. I also forgot what we were crafting, to be honest with you. So let's return to title. So yeah, as I said before, it just felt like there was just all these like rules that were just kind of like, again, to try to facilitate this big moment where it has a surprise on the party. But I'm like, you kind of can't, because I already know what you're doing. Like, I as a player have figured it out, and other people are not having it. And then what I thought was also kind of annoying was that like, I had to always like prompt. Oh, it took my blood. Oh, because we don't have the other thing. That's fair. Okay, so I need a bloodstone to do the other thing, and I don't have pearl shells. Oh, we might actually be done with crafting for now, surprisingly. I think we actually finished everything. So it's just one of those yeah, I can't get pearl shells. So it's just one of those things where, as I said before, like, it's okay to be outthought by your players. Like, you should congratulate them. You know what? You set down, the cookie trail of clues and hints. And if a player is smart enough to pick up on it, let them have their moment. Let them have that moment to shine. And there were a couple moments where other players did figure it out from like a narrative, like narratively they went the same way. Or like I figured stuff out without needing the rolls. So I'm like, I don't really need an insight to know that like this character is really this other character. Also, oh, I forgot. And when that happened, chat, we also got attacked by a werewolf on top of all of that. Sorry, I forgot a monster in that Zoom menagerie of nonsense attacking us. Just like, there are just so many things happening in that encounter. I just remembered that that's what happened with one of the other things. I think the DM had some mercy, and they basically like got rid of the werewolf after 1 round, and it basically became a plot thing later on. But it was still like that's still a lot to deal with. Yeah, I do think the DM ego was definitely getting in the way. And as I said before, like, it wasn't specifically just me on this, but there were a lot of times where players had to tell the DM, like, no. Like, it wasn't just me this session that was saying, like, no, that's not a thing. We're like, just absolutely not. That is not a thing. And as I said before, the DM wasn't really facilitating, like, very obvious things. Like, I'll give an example. The wizard had, like, a displacer cloak on, apparently. So they just have... They grant disadvantage to anything that tries to strike them in the first place. And there were, like, 4 or 5 times in the same encounter where the DM was told this and was trying to get away without rolling disadvantage. Like, multiple times, chat. Like, as I said before, if it's a one-off thing, it's whatever. But in the same encounter multiple times, it starts becoming... Oh, I slipped between the cracks again. It starts becoming a question of, like, how much of it is purposeful. Like, how do you forget about... Like, how do you forget something that strong of the player that many times in a row? I don't understand it. Like, to me, as somebody that prepares for encounters to try to balance them a bit more finely, like, it's definitely important to know whether or not players can grant advantage or disadvantage. And granted, sometimes the player has to actively declare if advantage or disadvantage is granted. But if it's like a passive effect, like, why do they have to keep telling the DM, like, every 2 rounds that this is how this works? I don't get it after a certain point. Like, you gave them that item. It wasn't something they bought or asked about. Like, you gave that to them. Like, you think you would be balancing some encounters around that, perhaps? Question mark. Or at least have that in your forethought of how many times you need to roll advantage or disadvantage. See, as I said before, I feel like they had a big plan in mind, but they didn't have, like, good knowledge of the monsters either. Like, things were just kind of happening. Like, somehow creatures were getting past the party, and I'm like, no, that's not a thing. And then there's, like, all this nonsense. Ooh, 11 sandalwood, that's good. And then, like, just all this general nonsense happening. And as I mentioned before, I wasn't the only person that was like, no, this makes no sense. Like, just absolutely no. I think we're done with the formulas here. I'm gonna see if there's anything we can make new in the side area here before we continue onwards with plot. So I could change the look of the sword again. The Dark Kirin. Could make more celestial armor, which would be a terrible waste of time. Oh hey, I managed to get enough tin ore to go ahead and make a swallow coat. I am absolutely making this. Alright. There was a purpose coming here. Also, I'm out of money. By the way, I spent 10,000. We are officially broke. Just FYI, chat. I'm now poor. But on the plus side, instead of 213 defense, chat, 278. We take 65 less damage. I think chat can agree. That's a very significant increase of our defenses. So, absolutely worth coming back here. Well, speaking of which... I could just get stuff that gives me extra health. Are these worth it? Convert damage to elements. I've never bothered with the elemental system in this game, to be honest with you. I still don't think I ever will. Yeah, never mind. I'm not gonna worry about resist. I don't care. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I had more fun with it this time, but there was it still has like the telltale signs of, like, you know, like what Kirk is saying, ego's getting in the way. It still feels a lot of like us versus them, and I still feel like specifically the DM is resentful toward my character for some reason. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. They're doing all this like multi-class shenanigans. There's like a Twilight cleric in our party, by the way, like one of the most broken subclasses or whatever they call them in 5th edition. Like absolutely atrociously broken class. I'm like, I'm just playing Artificer. I'm not even using the crafting mechanic. I'm just using whatever items I have. I could not be playing this thing more fairly. I don't know what to tell you. What shenanigans, chat?
怎么没精打采的？
我想到渭水剑炉的事，还有其他在梦里遇到的事，一个晚上都没怎么睡着。不是害怕，只是觉得有些东西让人难受，忍不住生气。可 可有时又想不明白。亏我还以为自己不是那种娇气的人，结果真的只是因为还没遇上罢了。想想也是很没用。
会这么想啊，说明你从小到大都过得不错，是好事。有些糟心事儿，就算一辈子不知道又怎样？真的赶巧见着了，想归想，想过以后，你不还是你吗？
我还是我。
别人怎么活，终究是别人的事，没得我们操心。你自己坚守本心就行了。
我好像有点明白了。
好了，别顾着郁闷，正好有个事给你做。
什么？
魔气搜集的足够了，你不如跑一趟燕陵，去把荣天仪交给葛先生。
好的，我现在就动身。肖赞的事，要不要跟德同的人说一下？万一……可他们都觉得他是很好的人，也不知该怎么开口。
这就交给我和云无月吧。
Sun Yang left the party. We're down a team member. Interesting. And the shirts at Eliza. I like how she's concerned about the good image of the guy that was sacrificing people, by the way. Like, I don't know if I really care about that, to be honest with you. Like, oh yeah, he killed the dog of one of the other people. He killed wild beasts. He also sacrificed people. By the way, his whole family basically just killed people and fed them to the forge. But yeah, I'm really worried about his reputation. I don't get where that makes any sense in any context, to be real honest with you. They're like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll tell the sheriffs about him. Meanwhile, we fed him to the wolves. Oh, game, you make some questionable choices. Okay, did any quests unlock? No. Did any side quests appear? Still can't do anything about the flower stands. And nothing to do there. Interestingly, still go back to the Undersea Palace, but I don't think there's anything else for us to do there. Let's double check that there's nothing to do at Sky Elk. Like it. I'm gonna briefly go back to the forge so we could talk a bit longer. Yeah, I think the intent is flaming aura similar to ancient Greek tongue could be sensed here. What? Oh. Oh, is there actually a side quest available right now? Oh, speaking of which, I remember this. Do I have to look at the green tongue? Oh, come on, chat. I remember this. This made me so mad the first time we played. There is a side quest locked into investigating. There are 2 items, I think, in the entire game that you investigate, and green tongue is one of them. Yeah. So we need to do that for later. So where is the thing that they're sensing? Okay, now it opened up a side quest over here. Rude. Right, chat? Rude. I'm glad we went back here. I had a feeling something was here. But yeah, from the perspective of D&D, as I said before, my philosophy is make sure the players all have a chance to shine. Like, they won't necessarily know the most optimal thing to do, but it's good to make sure that, you know, if you have social characters, they have social encounters. If a lot of combat characters, you give them variety. If there's a lot of melee characters, you give them opportunities, you know, to be the star in melee. You shouldn't actively be like, oh, there's a mostly melee party. Why don't I make every character like bow users and mages behind walls and stuff like that? Like, you don't do that. And I get that kind of impression from the game we were running. I think ultimately I still had a decent time, but a lot of that has to do with I more enjoyed the players that were there versus the DM, I would say. And I feel like with the players calling out the DM more, I had a lot more fun with it. But maybe not for the reasons that were intentional. Yeah, it's like, I just want to make sure from the perspective, you know, it's always neat if you could bring a little hook. That's what I try to do. I try to tell myself, what kinds of motivational things can we add to encourage people to, you know, use certain abilities or showcase like what they're actually good at. So like some things will be catered more towards one player or another, like that's inevitable. But I think from the perspective of having fun, it's important to realize or recognize as the DM that it is not really meant to be a competition. I mean, you could do it like in a teasing way, like, oh, I got you this time, and like we all laugh at it kind of things. But it shouldn't literally be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna murder you all. That's my entire purpose. The point is to provide a challenge and or an interesting narrative to make sure that players feel engaged, either from like a setting perspective or a combat perspective, or even just seeing like whatever the next big crazy thing will be. Because you're just never sure what's going on. Or like if you're playing like a horror campaign, like, ooh, I wanna see what big creature is gonna try to fight us next kind of deals. Oh, I thought I could kill him before he hit me. It's a good combo. Okay. So I think my takeaways are clarity in terms of who is doing what. Always ensure, when applicable, remind players that they can react to certain things. Don't try to do things without allowing player roles. That was a big no-no, especially in D&D. Like, listen, the more dice that players roll, the happier they are. It's like, especially if it comes to damage dice. It's like an exponential curve, right? Like, if you're rolling with 1 damage dice in combat, you're happy, you did damage. You're rolling with like 8 damage dice, you're having the time of your life. Like it's just that simple. It checks out. It's D&D math. It makes sense. More big dice, big boom. So I think the goal of like is to make sure that, you know, maybe some lesser used skills get some time in the sun, whether it's like knowledge checks or like the equivalency of investigate, depending on what system you're doing. But just make sure that there's always opportunities, not like thousands of them, but you know, just throw the player a bone in terms of skill usage. I think it goes a long way to having fun. Yeah, I think where I would say from the standpoint of what players can do to make sure that combat is not like a 3-hour session. Always make sure it's okay to have some table talk in terms of, you know, keeping things lively around the table when it's not your turn. But always make sure you're never interrupting the DM if the DM's giving a description. Always think about your turn. You should not come into like a 5-player game and go, I need to think about it. After like 4 or 5 minutes pass and it comes back to your turn. Like you should be aware of what you should be doing in that interim. And if you're not sure what you should be doing, it should be one of those things where you need to talk with people about it, like before the game. Or in general, you need a stronger understanding of what your characters should do in combat. Because there shouldn't be a moment where you're just like, you know, your friend is under attack. I'm like, are you going to just melee them or spell blast them? Like the options there are not usually very wide for certain characters. So it's like, you should kind of know where you're going with it ahead of time. Also, I love all the pose statues up here. Presumably ash remains of whatever was going on here. Well, there's the sword from before. So the sword has a dream world equivalency. Defeat the sword of Li Jing's school. Defeat the sword of Tianyang. Yes, Dunworm. Okay. Well, something tells me I defeated that sword. Take that, random sword. Guardian Trigram, sure. Oh, I attacked him during the cutscene? I am so rude. If this was Bushido Blade, I would game over. thought that was my attack at first. Oops. Oh, is it just a one-on-one? I don't have any allies. I just realized. Kind of annoying. Because I went to go use their team skill, and I'm like, oh, wait. I actually don't have it. Oh, are they just going to keep flying at me? That's kind of annoying. I did not think that would hit me, but whatever. Okay, so I can kind of block it, but not really. Okay, this is getting annoying. The AoE, it's technically blockable, but they keep hitting me from behind, so it's not blockable. Once it gets down to 1, it shouldn't be too bad. I don't think it gave me an indicator on that specific attack, which is kind of annoying. There I could dodge. Get closer. Thank you, Super Heal. You're the best. Good enough. Well, okay, there's no way I thought, based off of where that was hitting, that was gonna hit me. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna walk out of range. No, just teleport it over to me. Will you stop it with the homing attacks? That is so irritating. Because first of all, you're not giving me an indicator when they come back to me, which is very annoying. Every other attack in the game tells me when it's coming back. Like, see how that's curving? Like, isn't that rude? You have to, like, physically follow it. It doesn't tell you it's approaching. Like, it tells me that that is blockable, so I could, like, parry it. But I don't know when it's returning. I just have to look at it. Oh, you can actually knock him down? Oh. I have a mini-boss that's not immune to knockdown. That's interesting. I might heal in between here if I'm able to. Okay. Man, the super heal is so good, chat. Thank you, super heal. The gentle sword of the academy. Nice counter. Oh, that did big damage. Alright, that fight was so much easier. Right, chat? Wait a minute. That wasn't even in the same league. I parried him and told him to sit down. Sort of Tian Yang. Nice counter. I was gonna parry, but he missed me. That's his fault, chat. That's not my fault. Nice knockdown. Man, the bird already justified its existence right there. Thank you, bird. Such a good swap, chat. Such a good swap. We'll meet again someday. What do you mean, sword? We beat you. It's just rude. Is there anything else I could do to investigate this? Trying to think if it was equipment or items. So it doesn't do anything anymore. Okay. Well, we did a side quest. So yes, I guess. Yeah, I think it's an important philosophy when we're talking about, you know, make sure the players have a chance to roll against things. Things should not just be like, oh, and then you take damage, or oh, and then this happens. Because more often than not, as good intentioned as you may be as a DM, the person who will know more information about their character generally will be the player that is playing it, right? They actively have only one thing to look at the whole game, and that is their character sheet. Granted, that, you know, they might miss abilities or forget to use certain things. You know, that's the nature of the game. But from the standpoint of, like, in the moment, The DM is usually focusing on like 10 to 20 different things going on, like plot or like initiative or like or rule balances, etc., etc. And to try to take that away from players is just not a good idea. D&D is very much a chance-based game, hence the D20 system. So just assume you remember everything about their stuff is not a good thing, especially when you're proven to not remember basic things, like they just have disadvantage on melee with Displacer Cloak until struck. Like, even I picked up on that, like, within, like, a couple rounds, and I don't have that character. So it's, like, it's a little bit concerning if you're constantly going back and consulting. Like, making sure you understand the rules helps smooth things out. But I think as other players, to help smooth things out, aside from knowing what to do on your turn, definitely communicate. Involve other players in your turn. Like, don't just silo everything like you're making all the decisions on your own. It's important to talk to people. You can even talk to people during other people's turns to try to plan something. Like, you should be very much so actively engaged in terms of making sure that, you know, you're contributing to the fight. We're like, okay, I have this and this, but I'm not sure how to use it. What can I do to potentially, you know, help you with this? Like, I have haste. Do you need me to use haste on you, etc.? Just ask those questions. It's okay to ask, as long as it's in, like, the progression of combat. But as I said before, it's definitely very bad to consistently go into your turn and have zero clue what to do. So what you can say is, like... What I would say is, like, at the end of the turn, you could declare your intent. Because most of the time, it doesn't really matter if the enemy knows what you're doing. Especially in, like, martial combat. It might matter more for, like, a rogue or an illusionist. Like, obviously, you're not going to tell, like, I will cast my illusions, allies, fear not, blah, blah, blah. But it's more one of those things where, you know, if you're a frontliner, just say, like, I'm going to the front line to protect you. Charge! And stuff like that. So you could just make your intention known in order to help other people set up their turns. Because other people will probably not understand your sheet unless you've been playing for a while or they're, like, very experienced players. So you want to make sure to just communicate. Like, communication is definitely key in everything, but especially so with D&D. I mean, it's a group-based game, though a lot of these challenges you can't beat as, like, a solo class. You're expected to be able to use the abilities of multiple people. So I'll give a good example of this. So almost with Moon City. From the perspective of knowing what your character can do or can't do, I think it's really important to know, at least, you don't have to know mechanically every single line in your own spells and abilities. Damn, they just got destroyed, Chad. Did you see that 100-point combo? This old lady just got absolutely dunked on while I'm talking about D&D. Just absolutely. This is the most destroyed opponent I have ever seen, chat. Like, actually GG. Just actual GG. There's no comeback from this. Look at this. We're still getting points. This is monstrous. Like, I beat her by over 200. Oh my gosh. Chat, send help. Send help, chat. She's getting wrecked. Look at this. Are you gonna get beaten by 200 points? Holy. Okay, that was the most convincing game we've ever had. I managed to form the super combo. Goodbye. Good day. But anyway, I would say as like newer players, it's definitely fine to just kind of talk to like other players to kind of like get an idea of how they might play it or ask for suggestions. And again, that's probably better suited out of game in order to make sure that, you know, the game itself runs a bit more smoothly. Or honestly, just like talk to the DM or GM. Just be like, okay, you know, I have some abilities. I'm kind of torn between a couple things. Oh no, we got another tale to read through. We'll read through that in a little bit. But we also just want to make sure from the standpoint that like, you should be able to envision kind of how you want to play your character, and you just build upon that. Like, that's the whole point. That's why like it's hard for newer players to jump in at higher levels, because they just don't have like a grasp of the system, nor like a necessarily a strong character concept. So, you know, normally D&D leveling is on kind of like on a medium to slow progression, where the intent is you do multiple combats, so you get an idea of, oh, not afraid of anyone except for his wife, says the meat vendor guy. Oh, we're gonna duel him real quick. So the expectation is I'm playing with great indecision with most things. Yeah, I was gonna say we're fighting the meat bender. So yeah, just kind of write some things down. Like honestly, like I think it helps to do like what would be considered like the what is it called? Image training. It'd be like image training in D&D to an extent, where you picture yourself in the combat and you ask yourself, what if this happens? What if that happens? How do I react? So you can kind of build up some experience to some extent. And again, other players can help you if you're not familiar with the system. And again, there's always going to be stuff that comes up that's a surprise. You're usually very rarely going to get like point for point everything that will happen in encounter. You might not expect a trap. You might not expect like an alliance reversal. You might not expect, you know, shapeshifters or whatever, and everything gets a little more confusing there. But from that perspective, it should just be figure out what you want to do in combat, how you see yourself, put yourselves in the shoes of the characters. So I think it does help to kind of role play in your head at minimum, even if you're not like a very big role player, to just get an understanding of like what your character's strengths and weaknesses are. Don't get hit and die. Oh, poor Chris. No, we're not really getting good combo pieces. Our hand was kind of dead, but we somehow still won, to be honest with you. We had a lot of only single combos, but we managed to play most of the single combos. Me Vendor did not have a rare card. I just wanted to confirm that. I don't see anything else I could do. Oh, I can make the tofu now, I think. Take that back. I think we can make the tofu. Let's go finish that quest. So again, a lot of it will just come with experience. You just have to have like just believe in your character. Think about what you would like to do. Like, do you like to be sneaky with stuff? Do you see yourself as like an assisting role? And there's nothing wrong with that. But it also helps to just kind of, this is before, talk to like more experienced players. Maybe you'll like browse forums and stuff for some ideas. Some things are extremely flexible. It's hard to say like every possible scenario you could use stuff in. In particular, if you're doing stuff with illusions, illusions can be very complicated. It's more or less the sky is the limit, at the sky, or the limit is your own imagination. So there are certain things that will open themselves up to your playstyle. Maybe people want that flexibility. Maybe people just want simple and they just want to blow things up with a fireball. There's nothing wrong with it. They're all like very valid playstyles. But it's one of those things where you should not be, for example, a cleric and not understand whether or not you have the ability to cure disease. Do you know what I mean, chat? Like, you should, that's just kind of like, especially as a high level cleric, you should know if you can do that or not. It's one of those things where it's like, you know that stuff is gonna come up at some point. It's especially in a game with vampires and lycanthropes and things like that. So you're gonna have to get rid of stuff at some point. You will inevitably get poisoned or something else. You really should understand some basic abilities of your spells. Like, when you're picking out your spell list, you should be able to describe the spell in a sentence. You don't have to know like the exact number of dice rolled. Like, you should in combat, don't get me wrong. When you are ready to use something that requires dice rolls, you have that open, you write down whatever notes you need to get there. But like preempt before you were even thinking about running into like a session with your character sheet. It's one of those things that like you should really understand what is there, because if you're playing a character with like a really wide range of spells, but you don't know what 3 of them are at all, how are you going to know when or how to use the spell in the correct scenario? So a lot of that should just be like, when would I use X? When would I use Y? When would I use Z over the other 2 options? And like some of that should have come naturally from the standpoint of you are picking out spells to kind of fill out your list. But honestly, like that kind of stuff was kind of evident that didn't happen for some of the players at the table. So it's one of those things where it's just like you really need to understand if you have it. Like when I hear the cleric say, "Oh, I don't have." Oh wait, you can just drown. You just drown your character. He just walks into the water. I was not expecting that. Honestly, I thought that was going to prevent me from doing it. Apparently, you can just sink GTA style straight into the watery grave. Apparently. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it just helps to just practice in your head. Then you can even, if you feel comfortable with it, you can even practice on like the board. Say like, what happens if your ally's doing this? And so what I recommend is you get more comfortable. Oh, I don't think we fought you. She said she'll never play that game again. Well, time to make sure she never plays again. Goodbye, cruel world. I just accept the watery grave. I didn't even try to swim. There was like no attempt. I'm like, yeah, I'm going down. I probably want to take the red guy. I can set up a good combo here. She's worse with a decent amount, yeah. Oh, and then a better card just dropped. That sucks. I would like to take that red sword, please. Thank you. Man, we drew kind of dead again. I might lose. Oh, just give me something to combo with, please. I have most of the swords. I might be able to collect all the swords. Brutal. I'll get rid of the harp. If I only got a yellow, you give me the most points. Or not. Or if I didn't have the other pieces. Oh, big yikes. I have to take the harp back up. Somehow I'm still winning. By some miracle, I have not been destroyed yet, somehow. So she said she'd never play again. We dueled her. We take away her duel license. It's all over. I don't think there's any new people. Let's go back and I guess get the tofu to this guy, and then I guess we're done with the quests here. So, yeah. I definitely think skills are probably one of the big ones. Like, you should know a little bit about when to use certain skills, and that's probably going to take the longest because there are a lot of skills depending on what style of like D20 game you're playing. But it's one of those things where you should be able to say like, oh, I should be able to use this in X, Y, and Z, because if you're not aware of your own abilities, how can you use them properly in combat or like in social scenarios or stuff like that? So preparedness is definitely a big one if you want to improve D&D, and a lot of that happens to, there we go, we gave away the tofu. A lot of that just comes down to a mixture of experience and, as I said before, just kind of studying up on things. And I felt like not analyzing, especially if you get information about what you're coming into combat to deal with. Let me buy more seal paper. I feel like it's incredibly important if you know you're going to be fighting certain types of monsters to not bring certain things. Like, Fireball is a great spell, but you're not exactly going to go into the plane of fire and or like volcano creatures that you fireball at them. At least I would hope you would not do that. So there has to be some kind of like semi-awareness of the setting that you're in at some point. And granted, you're not always going to have like the perfect spells prepared or the perfect spells known, and that's fine. That's why you have multiple spells in general. But yeah, it's always think about what you would like to do and what is the backup plan. What would you do if you're at half health? What would you do if you're with an ally? How would it change if you went first? How would it change if your ally went first? But just like answering some of those questions, honestly, it cuts out like whole minutes from combat. Because otherwise you're like, oh, I could sneak attack it, or oh, I could do that. No, just like, no. You should know in your head, like, this is the thing that I want to do. And again, that'll just come with really kind of drilling down to what your character strengths are. So you should really be asking yourselves, what should I be doing as often as possible? What is my best ability? What are its limitations? What is it not useful? And just kind of go from there. I don't think I ever tried jumping up here before, but I've now asserted dominance over this entire world. Take that, building. Look at that. I'm not even standing on you properly. Look at that. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that beautiful, beautiful invisible box I'm standing on. Wow, I can really just kind of fidget my way off of that, huh? I cannot attack in this place. What a shame. I doubt the vendors have updated, but I'll just check real quick. Probably need more sauce for later. Okay, so our ingredients totals aren't too bad. I can't buy chicken, I can only buy pork. The chickens at our other place. We're down to 2,000 total in coins. Man, that destroyed my money total so bad. Unfortunately, we lost the character that gives us extra items. I just want to double check that nothing happens when I come here. I said before, I couldn't figure out when a certain quest unlocks, but something will happen here eventually. Should be potentially coming up to it now. I'm gonna do a quick save here in case I gotta come back here later. Ah, there is a side quest here now. Might be what I'm looking for. I swear I looked before and it wasn't there, but again, I could have missed it. It definitely was not there last session. I think this might be what I'm looking for.
这不是北洛吗？可有阵子没见了。
有要紧事出门。
今天正好全是新摘的果子，你来瞧瞧。
Oh. Hello there, wielder of the other sword.
还是去剑炉吧。若是你我在此处用剑，整个街市恐怕都将片瓦无存。
你是那柄剑？
幽灵，但求一战。
I don't think I ever did this in the first playthrough. I think this is actually new. I actually don't remember this in the streets here. This is not what I thought this was, but this should be fine. So we found the holder of the sword. Assuming nothing is upgraded here. Yeah, everything's kind of terrible.
摘果太晚，晒着。
青菜吐玉。
Looking for something more collectible there. Like I would still like collect the other resources, and I'm like, nah. I guess we'll go meet him in the sword forge. Right, chat? Like, okay. Hopefully this won't be too bad. Yeah, but just as it's important for players to prepare, like, DMs are not going to be expected to remember everything on their stat block, but again, you have to at least know what some of their abilities are. Like, if a creature is ferocity, you don't need to know the exact numbers or what it does, but you have to know when it applies. Stuff like that. Like, again, like, to me, it was very weird because I'll give an example in the same game where I said before, it felt like the DM was just not prepared for it, despite knowing about it for like a month. Where they're like, they didn't know very basic things about the vampires. In fact, one of the players mentioned it because they played 5th edition before. I don't know 5th edition enough to call out the rules to that extent. But it really was like one of those, I'm just gonna get into a couple combats here. See if I can get better crystals. I might be able to upgrade my, oh I can't because we're in combat now. I was gonna say, I might be able to actually upgrade my items. But it's just one of those things where like, not knowing like a vampire fight, you know, drains HP or like puts like negative stuff on the other players, limits their health. Not understanding that vampires rejuvenate. Not really focusing on some of their weaknesses. I just find it odd if you want it to be like a big bad. You should just kind of know a lot of those things. Like, you don't have to know exactly how much health a vampire regenerates every round, which is 20, by the way, is absolutely insane. But it's one of those things where, like, you should at least kind of know the thing. And I feel like my other takeaway is, make sure you, not only do you understand, like, general monster mechanics, but also how they should be behaving. Like, how do they approach combat? How is it different from, like, other things? What is their purpose in any particular area? Like, you can have very generic, you know, oh, monster bad, you fight. But, like, in the grand scheme of things, if you're not playing like an arena fighter like we do, you have to at least give some intention and reason why they're there. Like, are they even hostile to you if you're in there? Or are they just more, they're attacking because you're intruding and you just didn't introduce yourselves, right? Like, there's kind of like the nuance with it. And not everything that you come across is necessarily immediately hostile to you. Like, a lot of it probably is, depending on the location. But like, I'll give an easy example, especially if you're outdoors. Not every wild animal is just gonna attack you just because. Most of them just don't care. So like, you have to kind of think about the environment that you're looking to basically house your encounters in. What makes sense? And I think we're at like a strong side of like, in a more formal campaign versus like a combat focused one, is like the ability to allow players to negotiate, navigate around, or otherwise bypass encounters. I think it's like an important element because players can choose how many encounters they want to do. Like, can they get more items by killing the creatures? Maybe. Will they get more if they then convince those creatures beforehand, or just choose not to fight at all, to share in their wealth and or get hired on quests and stuff like that? Absolutely. Nothing really stops the player from just saying, no, we came across bandits, but why are we killing them? We could just have them working for us. Like, it's very open. Like, and again, some of it has to do with like, you know, things get very gamified over time where it's like, oh, I see a creature and it, you know, it's not immediately introduced with a name. It must be like killable. But I think like breaking out of that mindset and kind of going into the, you know, multiple opportunity situation, I think definitely improves the game flow for the players and DM.
歌以解忧，笑名久高，谁者可与？
谁者可与？哼，傲慢至极。
到了你我之境，傲慢一些却又何妨？
确实无妨。先前的那些人形呢？
那只是我搜集来的剑术。
剑术，
留存在我记忆中的剑招，出自于人族历朝历代里叱咤风云的剑派。可惜这几百年来，能入眼的确实越发少了。我便去睡了一觉，这2日才算真正醒来。既然你胜过那些剑术，就够得上与我一较高下。
那真是多谢你的青眼了。输或赢，比了才能知道。
请接近。
Alright, so we found the collector of all the sword styles. Oh, whoa, I was not expecting that tornado afterwards. He got me by surprise on that one. Let's heal up a little. Oh, and it works on bosses? Man, the Hawk is like the best summon we changed into. Oh, I didn't think that would hit me. That was rude. So we know it's gonna be a tornado, so I'm gonna walk away. Oh, I needed to dodge that. That was my bad. Oh, I went to parry it. Oh, this time the parry. How unfortunate. I have a little bit of a heal.
莫非同我的一样源自于古法？倒也不像。但真奇怪，多法如法。
金法又灵，剑不就是从我心意方能自然，哪来的那么多道理？
Okay, there we go. We're starting to rack some damage on him finally. That tornado attack is kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, our Hawk missed. That sucks. Him auto-dodging is kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie. There we go. Good punish. Hit him a couple times here. How polite of him to get closer to me. Oh, I dodged too early. Too close. That was my bad. I'm gonna eat a deer hop here. Oh. Hard to get a good combo on him because he keeps doing attacks I actually have to respect. Oh, I missed him. The fireflies actually just told me where he was going to spawn. That was actually kind of useful. So I think if I take it slow, it's not too bad. Let's try to parry. Whatever. So apparently I could block the tornado if I really need to. But he's pretty much done. I think I'm good. Early. That's not the right way. That was my bad. Yeah, it's looking over for him. That was rude. Oh, every time I use Eagle Hunt, I get healed. Okay. I was wondering what skill was healing me at first. Goodbye. Wasn't too bad. Oh. Oh, he came back. Okay. Now that did some good damage. We'll respect him a little bit here. I might be able to teleport to him. Yeah, nice. Nice knockdown, nice. If I had more meter, I would have teleported. Oh, yeah, three-way split. That was devious. That was kind of annoying. He hit me out of the heel. Oh. Wow, he did a third of my health? Huh. That did a lot of damage at the end. Yeah, he's kind of neat. I was not expecting to take that much damage at the end. I definitely think we had him. I just was not expecting that amount of burst, to be honest with you. It's kind of insane. Plus, he hit me out of the heel. The problem is he hit me out of the heel earlier. Yeah, that's fine. I'll do a rematch. I actually kind of like this fight. So I can kind of heal very gradually with my other moves. He's out of range. Oh, he jumped the hawk. That sucks. There we go. Where did my agony go? I went to summon it and nothing happened. We're fine, we're fine. This is before. I just was not expecting him to do that much damage to me. I guess it triple hit me. That's why I died. wall block my attack. Oh, keeps jumping it. Good punish. I could parry that attack. That attack is definitely easier to parry than the others. Did get some good damage on him there. Nice. There we go. He's got kind of a rhythm to him now. That was not aimed correctly. Oh, my bad. There we go. Let's top off my health a little bit here. So we saw his damage is pretty high. And he goes into serious mode. Oh, that didn't go through it. I was hoping that would teleport past. I was trying to be cute with them. Ooh, good shield breaker into the AoE. Oh, that was such a good punish, chat. That was such a good punish. Oh, I didn't have enough to teleport. That's so sad. Got him. Okay, that was much better. Kind of like that fight.
从我心意，方能自如。原来是这样啊！胜了半世，你就没有什么想说的？
莫非还要我说承让？你既然出言挑战，不就已经做好了输的准备？
真是个怪胎。明明不是人族，怎会花这么多心思在剑术上？
你不也一样？
我终归还是剑灵。
那柄古剑的剑灵吗？
当初那些人族使计禁锢我，拘我之魂入剑。建成之后，我做的第一件事就是把他们送去轮回。
魂魄铸剑，那应当还是远古之事吧？
是啊，非常久远了。那个时候，神州沃土上最大的城叫做有熊。我曾经从它的上方飞过，虽然称得上壮阔，但比起后世的城池还是差了许多。
那你和你的剑，又怎么会混在德同山洞的一堆废剑里？
年光漫长，无以为尽。后来周览九州，遍阅天下，觉得3尺清风，却也有许多奥妙。800多年前，有缘结识了渭水剑炉的弟子。
正当他们立派之时，
不错，那时的剑炉虽然声名不显，于铸剑一道却是颇有见地。昆仑山天雍城有一位掌门，年轻时还曾在剑炉中修习半载，为自己打造了一柄佩剑，取名渭水太极。此剑亦可跻身名器之列了。谁又能想到剑炉弟子如今却是这般光景？
万物皆有衰亡，兴盛败落，本是物理常情。
今日一战，很是畅快。 一时间倒也在我所求。既然都醒了，不如趁此机会去看看人事变迁。青铜就先寄放在你那里，不过我料想是派不上用场。你已经有了一柄很好的剑。
你是说太岁？
太岁，好名字，与你相合。希望来日能再比试。
Achievement made. Green tongue. Bit of the quest. So all that, turns out the guy wielding the sword was none other than the swords themselves. Anyway, apparently he killed whoever trapped him in there, and he just ended up falling asleep because he was bored, and no one was really challenging him. So I like that fight. It had a good ebb and flow to it. I made one mistake, it cost me a lot of health. I'm really glad we upgraded armor, because we were taking insane damage, right, chat? Like, he did 33% on one strike. And the fire tornado did like 50-something% plus if it hits you. Kind of wild. So there, it would have been good to have some fire resist, I would have imagined. But it's okay, I'm not going to gear up for any specific boss fight. I'd rather just have the generic damage ups, or like generic defense ups. So in theory, I could have had like another iron wall on at least one of our things. Oh wait, no, it says invalid. Oh, actually, it looks like there are two things I could have had with it. Is it just this one it's invalid? No, never mind, I misread. Alright, so I could still boost my defense by another 50 if I want to. Maybe? I think I was waiting for Elementalism 3 to unlock, but unfortunately I'm not sure how to get to Pearl Shells. We can apparently craft the green tug. Saw that little thing pop up in the corner there. I think I'm good with this for now. Lotus Bone Lantern acquired. I'm gonna not bother with sending people yet. I think I have everything I need until I have something I actually want to do. I don't want to send them out just for the sake of sending them out, unless I actually feel like I'm missing something at this point. So yeah, we need to get more bloodstone from the mines are the things I want to keep sending people to. But I need to get Pearl Shell. In here. What do I need for this? Or Pearl Shell. Given how often this is occurring, I wonder if I missed it somewhere. Hold on, Chad. I'm gonna think. Let me think. Where did we only... You know what? Maybe it's at Amber Reach. The reason I think this is because of the fact that that is one of the only locations we only got really 2 things from it. I think most areas have at least 3 things. We're gonna briefly go back to Amber Reach, Chad. I feel like we can actually get an item here. We'll also try using not common bait. I think prawn we had like 1 million of. Because I feel like we should have had it by now. Like, I feel like there's just no way we should be this far and not have received it. So I think that fight was intended, potentially with Elementalism 3 unlocked and other things like that, by the way, chat. So, oops. We could have been doing, like, another 100 damage per strike very easily. Because I want to say the next upgrade is plus 150 per attack, and we could have been taking, like, 100 less damage a strike. I think the fight was actually pretty interesting as is. As I said before, I think that was probably one of the more interesting fights. Like, I feel like the werewolf fight we fought early was not really all that fun. Because he just does so many attacks that require, like, dodges that I was low. Whereas this one, like, you could kind of pace him out a little bit. It was actually kind of... It wasn't too bad. I feel like there was, like, obvious opportunities to use teleports. I like that Eagle Hunt was kind of a way for me to dash in without using stamina. So I like that there were some options on my character kit in order to get some distance. And our summons are really powerful. I can't believe that the Hawk, aka Slash, on our bottom right toolbar, actually knocks down bosses. Like, I was not expecting that to be allowed. I thought the boss would just be immune. So the fact that we just have an on-demand knockdown on the protagonist is kind of insane. Like, it worked on the mini bosses there, and then it worked on the actual boss with the multiple phases. So, I'm just gonna say I think that's one of the best things that we have swapped into. And I feel bad for people that might have missed that knockdown, because that led to, like, 10 to 11 free hits that we could combo into it as well, because it takes a little while to activate. It was a little harder to get a consistent shield break on him, because I wasn't feeling some of how long his timings were. But on one of his longer animations, I did manage to get at least up to 1 shield break. And I had my safety backup with morale. So doing like 30 hits into the morale breaker and also getting a shield breaker definitely sped that second phase up significantly. Let's change it to prawn. Or prawn. Because we got dragonfish last time, but I feel like we could probably get something else here. And if we don't see anything in like 5 or 6 attempts, I'm gonna look it up. Because as I said before, I had a feeling pearl shell was something we could fish. I think this is not just dragonfish. Please give us something else. Yeah, got it in 1, chat. Yeah, there we go. See that? Deductive reasoning. Right, chat? Not 20 on the investigate check. So hopefully we could get a couple of these. I want to get to the point where it tells us we get the pearl shell ling or whatever it's called. The fingerling equivalency, so we can just fish this constantly. So we're gonna go get Elementalism 3 and see how much easier that fight could have been. Sadly, we probably don't have enough money to do anything with it since we did all the other crafting things. There we go. I'll do 1 more. We needed at least 2. There we go. Glad you enjoy the fish emote. Ooh, you're fighting me. Good thing I know about the trick of mashing the different buttons. Okay. So that should be enough for all the crafting, because we got at least 4. Damn, chat, that call out was real. The call out was real. Here I was about to look it up. Whatever, not even needed. Okay, so let's see what we could do here. So I need to somehow get money. We lost our character that makes money. I could sell some ingredients if we're really close. Yeah, so I should be able to make this if I want to. Do I have enough money to do that in Elementalism 3? It's more important I do this one first. It requires 2 of a lot of different things. We picked up the fin last time. I remember doing that. Question is... Nice. Ooh, it costs 760. Oof. Look at our money total, chat. It is so sad and so low. I'll just do the people with the higher bonuses. Oh, we could give this guy a level up, maybe. I want to use the tailor, but not for that. Actually, if I don't need this character, let's just use these 2. Be fine. Assuming you'll be the first person I talk to. I'm gonna make wood elements, spirit stone. What should I use as the base? Probably wood or earth. Is it like wooder and then earth? Is it like a trick and I do wooder here? Sure, apparently that was the right answer. Apparently wooder begets wood, sure. That's definitely where I was going with my thought process. What do you want? I'll get you water. That's easy enough to do. Now that is the easiest mini game that you could do. Let's just mash them something. Why is there like food over there? What is this guy doing? He's having like a party. Please get my seal so I can... It's right in front of you. Excuse me. I didn't even move. You're just lazy. Right, chat? Can we call that out for what that is? I literally didn't move, and I gave it to him without moving. What an idiot. I know. Like, It's like the guy that asked for the saw after he was using the saw. I'm like, is this really a me thing or is this a you thing? Is it though? Is it? I wasn't using anything rare, it's just double checking the materials. Okay, we level up our tailor. Maybe I can HP recover? Oh, their HP is so bad. Try to put some partial HP recoveries on them. I think that should suffice. Oh dear, indeed.
这块布得处理一下。
All four threads are done, but I wonder what can be done to give them more luster. Soak in hot water, weave with fine bamboo, paste with wheat flour. Paste with wheat? Ew. Probably weave with bamboo. Mix off thread and bamboo, slowly dragging it back and forth, smooth out the burrs.
我不放心，得问问你。
Oh no, the tassels are a tangled mess. What am I gonna do? Okay, you never want to cut them. Never want to, you know what? Probably separate with the long needle. That's the only one that even seems somewhat reasonable.
还请你帮我一下。
Knots are tied, but bring me a tool so I can handle it. Not the Buren. Assuming you want scissors, unless there's a needle. I'm assuming you want the scissors. I just want to make sure it wasn't like, you know, like the gotcha. You answered needle earlier. I probably don't have enough money to do anything here, sadly. So we could farm the desert creatures to get another 20 defense. Critical multipliers. Uh-oh, chat. Uh-oh. I mean, I kind of want both. Can I just get both? I mean, I think chat can agree. Like, I think I'll be using those almost over everything else possible, to be honest with you. Like, if we could get a damage multiplier, that would be huge. Are we allowed to put them on these? Oh, we have to choose. Makes it a bit trickier. So I can lose 80 attack, but I go from 5% crit to 20%. That's kind of significant. Because essentially the way I look at it, 80 attack right now is not a lot for when we have over 1,000 attack. It might be just better to go for crit here. Because that's a 50% on our total attack. Yeah, that's... I think the flat numbers no longer matter because we leveled enough. Is there anything else we could do? Yeah, would have loved if we could have put another... one of the attack things here. I'm assuming I just want crit rate up. Because I think there's skills that we have in the constellations that improve crit damage. Also, we have stars that I didn't use. Oops. Yeah, because we could scale our damage with Eagle Hunt. Certain stuff, yeah. That. And using a skill, 10% crit rate up. Ooh. I think that's all skills, too. Oh, yeah, each combo hit increases critical damage by 1%. Yeah. So we have things that just need us to crit more. See, I wasn't sure what the you know, uses up 1 slot of energy, recovering 2% of health. This is just passive. Every time I use a skill, I heal. I kind of like that. And I like that I could get stamina back by using our energy. That was the other thing I was noticing. Using up once confers a 5% critical damage buff. This confers up to 20% total. Take damage. I probably want this. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that I need here. I think I care about the other things. Now we have a critical damage up. Then I can make it so that every skill we have also increases our crit rate. Right, chat? Like, okay. So we have 2 scalars going on. I kind of like that. Yeah, we're gonna go for a crit build. Crits is so good. Once your base stats are there, crit is so good. It's like if you're like multiplying 30, not exciting. Multiplying like 1,000 something, way more exciting. Can learn Ice Shatter. When attacking targets that are frozen, increase damage. Successful cap converts for healing. I care about these. Water damage. I don't think I care about most of these because I can't stack them. I guess might as well increase her damage if they're frozen, because at least I can freeze with her. Yeah, we actually surprisingly got a good upgrade there. Technically, we could also give them an upgrade. So she naturally has an 11% chance to crit. Maybe we'll give her Throat Cut. I don't know if we have any more hand-me-downs. We don't seem to. Because at least she has double our base crit chance. So, like, maybe she's okay there? And if she happens to crit while hitting ice targets, maybe it'll be like an insta-kill. Try that. See how it goes. Send out the mantises so we can level them. Okay. I think now we're ready to proceed with the plot. Yeah, that was a big pickup for us to get out of the way. I'm gonna check my notes just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Give me 1 second, chat. Worry about those. Okay, I don't think any of this is relevant at the moment, so we should be good. Okay. I have a small thing for missable side quests. I was double checking, but I'm like, nah, I don't think that's happened in the plot yet. Make sure there's nothing here. Don't see anything there. Because, you know, not everything is accurate. Sometimes I'll double check. We'll come back to the nameless steps at some point. I think that'll be much further in the story. Already checked there. So I think we're good with side quests. Thank you for sticking around, Kirk. Your appointment goes well. There we go. Let's return the shards of the, I guess the scout. I think it's who we're returning that died in the sword forge.
风组长，我们在梦域里发现了这个。
如今恐怕纪灵族的碎晶已经遍布那些新的梦域了。
发生了什么？
我族在探查梦域时，虽然难免受伤，有时甚至会死去，但大多时候尚能保命。可自从对你们而言，应当是从昨天夜里开始，纪灵族已是死伤过半。
有更强大的魔进到了梦里。
不止如此，有人在指引魔族，是一些不能人语、眼中浑浊、姿态很像野兽的人。他们指引着魔找到纪灵族，甚至连他们自己都有可能被魔杀死。但这些人似乎并无太多神智，也不在意自身的伤亡。
古考会。 是古考会那些变得人不人鬼不鬼的东西。乌兆又在谋划什么？
你说的是？
Well, we found out what he's doing with the murderers. He's using them to draw demons to places.
皇帝时的不足，我明白了。先前林道长他们来梦中退魔，也唤醒了一些狱众。 据说阳平城内行转的人越来越多，明明看起来一切都在变好，我却依然觉得不安。你说的乌兆与轩辕氏有仇， 那么这就是一场跨越了数千年的复仇。如今想来，事情并非快要结束，或许才是刚刚开始。
什么意思？
之后我要重开通往金天轮的路，带一些族人进入其中，去弄清楚这一切。
你是说那边？那后面有些什么？
另一个梦。
你们也来了，风族长，这趟出去，我们发现了一些亮晶晶的东西，也不知道是什么，就都带回来了。
With the slow mo.
北陆殿下，我恐怕不能再保护你了。你会成为强大无比的辟邪，就算我没法亲眼看见那一天，也会在心里为你祈福。
刚才有什么？
你忽然看到了一些奇异的景象，是吗？祭灵族本身是不会做梦的，但因为一直身在梦中，加上特意的修行之法，我们早已和梦境融为一体。或者说，祭灵族就是梦的一部分。这些碎晶承载了千百年来不知多少人的梦，其中残留的意念，连我们也无法窥看。可是据说，如果有谁同原来的那个梦境主人拥有血脉或是神魂之连，就有可能通过碎晶看到其中的梦境。
是梦还是回忆？
梦，亦或回忆，谁又说得清呢
And item Soul Drifter Shards. Accept new quest Dream Probe. Is this good enough to start something? Curious now. No, not quite yet. We're very close to something that'll trigger a side quest here, I think. I think I have to go a little further in the cutscene. So we saw something of our past life, or... yeah, I guess a figure potentially from our past lives in the Dream Shards from one of the Soul Drifters that got murdered. I love that they just casually flung the remains of the other people. I guess they didn't tell the birds that the crystals were former people. Like, there you go. Some good old murder. Also, I noticed on the minimap, the quest marker didn't have the main quest there. Maybe because it's in Yanping now.
不管是你们，还是乌金燕，
So I guess there is nothing more to do here. I take that back then. Oop, I saw that person pop in. I saw them.
这里每个人都有自己。风姐姐是我们第6任的族长了。
If there's anything else we could do over here. But sadly, we lost one of our best money sources. I will double check nothing has unlocked, and then we'll move forward. Sorry for the brief detours. This is kind of nebulous to me when this updates. Okay, if that hasn't updated, I'm assuming nothing else is updated, so let's go on with the plot. That area usually is the one that has it the most. I guess we'll go a little further. Yeah, there's a point in the story where we're basically down a party member, which is now. I'm just waiting for something to occur in order for a bonus area to unlock. Oh, there's actually demons here. I'm surprised it let me save. Oh, I already killed him. Nice level up.
王帝蝎流落人间，本就离奇，想来这其中是有不同寻常的隐情了。
Okay, so we're starting to question our past. So we finally admit to her that we were being chased when we were the kind of wolf-esque creature we saw before. Oh, we got a sword crystal 5. I didn't even see that. I saw a lot of the 3s that we picked up earlier. We'll see what we can do with upgrades here. New spirit socket. Oh, we unlocked more than one socket? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Give me that other thing back. Wait a minute. Hold on. Right, chat? Wait a minute. Now I can have the 110% crit multiplier? Oh, we're good. You can take that base damage. Right, chat? Never mind. That's kind of a big damage increase. It's a little bit. Like, oh, okay. Just do 60% more damage. Okay. That was a absolutely worthwhile upgrade. Oh, I forgot to check to see if she got any upgrades. I guess she should probably upgrade. Although we didn't get any sword crystal 5s. So she's a little further behind. Camping looks a little different. I don't see the tiger people anymore. Rip tiger people. Just these things. Yeah, we're going from 700 a swing to like nearly 1,600. Like that's just bonkers. So much damage. Yeah, definitely not as cool as tiger people. Yeah, look at that damage difference. Just occasionally getting that 1,800 is like, look at that. It is just absolutely dunking on them right now. Oh my gosh. Look how fast the fights are now. Okay, yeah, we definitely needed the... I think the game thought we had this weapon for the other boss. Like this, the damage difference between even before boss to now is ridiculous.
在某块机灵族的碎晶里，我好像看到了什么。其实当初老师和师爷之所以带我来到旗下，是因为他们曾经追查我的身世。有人说看见过和我长得很像的小孩从那边的山里走出来，但我觉得厌烦，所以即使后来清醒，也没想过要走。
如果你决定去，
Okay, so that comment right there, that should trigger the thing I was looking for in Quixia. I wasn't sure what triggered it, because we saw the background of him before. But now that he has acknowledged it, I believe now there should be something we can do in the other area. Okay. Let's not miss the side quest, because if we progress too far with the dream world, or meet up with another party member, I won't do anything else.
辟邪族当年的事，你打算在栖霞寻找线索吗？
说是这么说，但其实自我从山里出来，至少也已经过去了7、80年，被猎户追赶，更是100年前的事了。没关系，先随便打听打听，比如山里有没有什么奇怪的传说之类的。如果遇上那种几代都是猎户的人家，也可以多问问。
后来呢？那2个猎人，
我被他们抓住。 又逃了。他们本来只是想要皮毛，但既然有活的，总还能找到更大的用处。没什么，都过了那么久，而且我也没受多重的伤。如今我还在，当年的那些人已经化为尘土了。
Quest. Okay, so now there's 2 side quests that I've unlocked. So I know for sure I forgot to do this in the other playthrough. Let's learn more about our background. We're investigating Quixia now that we're questioning our own past and stuff that we did not look into before. see what we witness in this little town. Now that we have this ridiculous weapon. Let's talk to little girl. How ominous.
洛哥哥，你是不是在四处找人问故事呀？
是的，你知道哪里有能听故事的吗？
那你跟我一块儿去找小川吧，他知道好多别人不知道的东西。
他怎么会知道呢？
因为他的爷爷是山老呀。
山老？
反正小川的爷爷懂得很多很多。洛哥哥，你来吧，我带你去小川那儿，我们一起听故事。
Sure, let's listen to the story. Maybe we'll learn more about our origins from people that were around then.
华小川，你在这里做什么？
那是小川的堂哥，他很凶的。看来今天是听不成故事了。
我给小伙伴讲故事，又哪里有错？
山里那些事，能随便拿出来讲的吗？而且这个时候，你应该在家里做功课吧。
Yeah, even in the fantasy world, still gotta do your homework.
不许再乱跑！你还想不想入屈先生的门下了？
想的。
我一会儿还有事儿，晚上再检查你做没做好，不要想着偷懒。
Damn, the fun police came by.
回去就回去。
Poor kid. I like how it's like follow them to the house, but I could just beat them there, right? Yeah. Yeah, Chao might remember I was checking this area earlier.
好好用功。
是。
是客人吗？
并非有意冒犯。
年轻人，我知道你，你是屈先生的弟子。
正是，在下北洛。
是有什么想让我帮忙的吗？
我想打听山里的事。 几十年前，100年前，甚至更早的。
山里的事，那可不能随随便便的打听。山也是会吃人的。
吃人？
走吧，我没有什么可告诉你的。
Apparently, stories of the mountain are not for most people. Mountains devour people. Did we eat villagers? Is that what we're learning? I mean, it wouldn't totally surprise me. We were like borderline feral, I think, at one point. We were injured. We were not maintaining a human form. Hello, Granny Yu. Do you have anything to say about what the creepy old blind man was saying?
是北洛啊。原来你想打听当年山里面有没有发生过什么特别的事儿？这样讲起来，还真是有一桩的。
请婆婆同我说说看。
这进山最多的嘛，不是打猎的，就是采药的。那时栖霞最好的猎人，一位是我的曾祖，另一位是段家的老大。 段家那位有一趟从山里回来，说自己看到了什么珍兽，那之后就一直进山去找。没过几年，城外村子里又有2名猎户说是真的抓到了异兽，可惜给他跑了。这事传开来后，段家那位越发疯魔，时不时地拉上好些个猎人一块儿进山。 我曾祖倒是一次都没去过，直到他过世，段家那位也还没死心。好像是说，后来有一回他们又进山去，就再没出来过。
我知道了，谢谢婆婆。
这有什么好谢的？都是些陈年旧事了。我也是听我的长辈说的。
Wow, our story is at least 4 generations old, according to her. Shadow of the Beast completed. So we're learning about when we first came to the mortal world. We still don't know why we were in that scenario, because even from his standpoint, we said we didn't really remember things. And we still don't know about that mysterious caretaker we saw a moment ago. Oh, and an item. Oh, you can kick it. Take that box. I feel like that's like one of the only things in the entire game that you kick. I'm honestly like, that mechanic has not come up again, right chat, since we've started? Okay, so apparently people are getting lost. There's a flyer for it. Hello, pigs. What does it want us to do? Another meat vendor. Oh, well, I found this. Well, I think I found it what it wanted us to do.
可能晚些还是得去画家。
打扰，两位是在打听山里的事？
不错，
在下季羡，家中数代都以打猎为生，或许能帮上些忙。
哦，你为什么要帮我？
这还需要缘由，只是觉得两位面善罢了。不知你们可听过100年前一些猎户结伴上山捕捉异兽的事？
听说了。
那其中也有季家的一人，
是你的先人。
是的。传言他们后来有一回，就再没能从山里出来，这也是真的。虽然已经过去了100年，但季家还是没有放弃寻找高祖的尸骨。就算找不到，总该有个说法。所幸，这么多年，倒也不算全无收获。两位可要和我一同进山去看看？我怕这一时间也是说不清的。
那就劳烦了。
不用客气，我正好也打算上山一趟，那我在西面等着你们。
可信吗？
我没有察觉到异样，但又隐约觉得有些不对。
我也一样。先跟去看看吧。
So we sense something strange, but the guy says he's been in the family that went missing for generations. But we're still gonna follow him anyway. Yeah, sadly collecting these items no longer grants XP and gold, which is a bit unfortunate. Let's follow him, I guess.
这就走吧。
等等，我想请问，你知不知道山老是什么人？
你们见过山老了？你们要是想找他打听消息，他多半是不会说的。山老就是人世间得到大山眷顾的人，每逢祭山，他会同山说话。如果山有什么想告诉我们的，就托他转达。
真的可以同山说话吗？
我也不清楚，以我的年纪，还不能去参加祭山。不过，大伙儿都是这么说的。
我在栖霞也有些年头，似乎从来没有听过这些事。
那是肯定的。能参加祭山的人家毕竟是少数，就是本地人也有大半不知。
祭山都要做些什么？
和祭祖差不多吧，都得备上礼，感谢山神过去的馈赠，期盼来年也能猎得猎物，不至于饿肚子。时候不早，也该走了，你们跟着我。
Follow him into the mountains. You won't be able to visit other areas before the side... Well, I think they mean side quest ends. Sure, I think we could do that as our final thing here. We go to meet the mountain elder. So yeah, we definitely did not do this last time, so I'm very curious what this will do. I'm not sure if he's gonna speak to us or not.
这屋子是专门给上山的家里人用来歇脚的，里面有些东西。两位不妨先看看。
Also, good thing we got Elementalism 3 right before coming here. I think it's probably gonna make a big difference. Oh? Did he trick us? He opened the door and we're somewhere else.
这里才是他想带我们来的地方吧？
倒要看看，他究竟搞的是什么鬼。
Mount Fang. Sure, we'll check inside the mountain. There's a side quest we could do in the optional area. Oh boy, there's a lot that I missed. How ominous. Ooh. Red difficulty monsters. That's not good. Poison kind of things. Pick up. Oh, it must be something with it. Oh, did she not use her ice attack right now? Sucks. I'll double check to make sure it's assigned. But why did you do it backwards? I was facing forward. Game, please. Well, we're getting level 4 crystals, and whatever Dark Knuckle is that like a weapon upgrade, or... I mean, in any other game I would have assumed it's a weapon, but maybe it's a component? I wish I knew what it was. It's a plant, apparently. Good to know.
这不是幻境。
不是。
那我们就还在上面的木头处。
Well, at least her personal skill seems to be activating. Still in combat? What do you mean I'm still in combat? No, I'm not. Don't you lie to me. Right, chat? It was like, can't change. Currently in combat. I'm like, no, I'm definitely not. Yeah, so I don't have any team skills. I'm not sure what the game categorizes as team skill, because it seems to put everything in heal skill, which is kind of unfortunate. I have the attacks heal her. Maybe that'll be worth using. Like, was anything explicitly marked as a team skill on her list? I didn't think there was. Passives. Passives. Support. Control. But we saw control was also in support. Or does she not get one later? Control. Or which are in the same category. Tax skill is oh, there it is. Team skill. Okay, so it's like way down the line. Okay, I don't have to worry about that forever then. Well, thank you for sticking around, Rob. Appreciate it. Always good to see you. Ooh, we're finding new plants, which might actually be important for later. Or the wood armadillo things. Wow, that damage is insane. The damage is insane, chat. Because keep in mind, every single strike that I do increases our attack damage by 1%. But then every time I use a skill, we get 5% extra crit. And then every hit also increases our crit damage by 1%. So there is so much scaling going on right now, it's kind of gross. Yeah, we went from like somewhat weak to just godlike. Alright. I'm gonna try left here. What? Oh, well that was easy. I just hit left twice. So that was gimmicky, but at least I figured it out. So chat can admit that was new.
像是上山打猎的猎户，这里这么狭窄，也没有通路进出，他怎么会死在这儿？
你还记得山老说过的，山也会吃人吗？
再看看其他地方。
stick. What am I stuck on? Oh, dead body. It's like, I mean, they did acknowledge it in the cutscene, but I was like, what am I physically stuck on? Hmm.
这一片有不少抓痕。
人的手指可以留下这么深的痕迹吗？
不要小看人在绝望里会有的力气。这个人被困住，一定会想尽办法逃出去。山石上也有不少挖凿的痕迹，但可能是因为没有趁手的器具，或是时间不够，终归没能挖通。
Request Maneater Mountain. We have another door. Oh, that wasn't the solution, really? That's evil. That didn't do what I wanted it to do. Oh, the rotating is just evil. Why does it rotate? Oh my gosh, please. There we go. Right, chat? Jeez, with the random rotations, it's just evil. Like, not only does it behave a little differently between them, but then it's like, yeah, we're just gonna make it spin repeatedly. It's not annoying or anything. Also, I'm really glad I got more seal papers, by the way. Thankfully, we got some of those. Stone Hex is being acquired. I feel like there has to be something over here other than enemies. Like that's the case. Good finisher. We're getting a lot of level 4 crystals. We're definitely in a harder area. Looks like there's a side area down here. Silly creature. I do too much damage. You can't stop me. Right, chat? Like, wait a minute. We have an attack boosting main skill that also gives us back stamina and partially heals us. Man, we're so strong right now. And the free freeze means I don't even burn meter. That's so sick. Right, Chad? Absolutely disgusting. I wonder if this will unlock in the, what's it called? The Lotus Escape later. Good damage. Oh, come on. That was mean. That should have given it to me. Come on. Really? Oh, between the rotating and it not behaving the same way every time is evil. Why would they do this? No, that was not the correct solution. Is this the correct solution? No. So it's just a guessing game whether or not it unlocks? It's kind of messed up, I'm not gonna lie. That is way more annoying than that looks. Like, you would think if you push in the top piece that it would complete the puzzle, but it doesn't. It behaves differently at, like, every other one. So it's hard to understand what the rules are meant to be. Okay, how many seal papers do I have left? I'm worried I'm burning through a lot of them. I might actually have to start saving to clear these. I have 31. That's not too bad. What? So I'm gonna hit up here. That time it behaved as expected. Holy. Right, chat? Just what evil puzzles. A couple of the ones I failed earlier I pressed up, but it just reset it versus doing anything useful. Yeah, like at least for the most part, the rule seems to be if I press it twice, it undoes the move. So like that helps a little bit. But it's still like a lot of nonsense that's happening there. Like I did all that to open a door just for a single sweetgrass. I don't think that was really worth it. Oh, but we also lost the ability to detect metals because she's not in the party. Oh, come on. No. Really? I have to find these manually? No. Come on. Really? Oh. They really should have just enabled your abilities to be empowered full time. There is no reason to take that away from us mid-game. So I definitely missed something in the other passageway then. Yeah, that is very frustrating. Please stop messing with my ability to detect things like every other dungeon. It's very annoying, I would just like to state. Well, I'm gonna sadly have to go back down this passageway again since it isn't detected. Hopefully there's nothing else of interest aside from a couple crystals, which I'm assuming will actually be somewhat important because we've seen ore has been a big factor in terms of crafting. Oh, the enemies respawned already. There's more iron ore. That one's less impressive. And again, our base damage is so high, there's not much they can do. On the plus side, we're getting a lot of level 4 crystals. That'll help for later. Oh, he knocked me down. Goodbye. So the item spawn rate here is insane. Yeah, see, I missed this. The acquired haste. Like, in my defense, it's a very dark room in here. What happened to our little light? I was gonna say, yeah, what happened to that? I don't remember turning that off. Anyway, it's on now. Or maybe it doesn't detect this as indoors. I'm not sure. That'll help a little bit with the search. So haste is presumably an offensive thing, right? Oh, wait, stamina recovery up? Wait a minute. Oh, chat. Oh, but the dream. Wait, the only thing I care about. Wait a minute. Hold on. Okay, game just got easier. We're good now, chat. That's been like my only complaint. I'm just like, I don't like having it not enough stamina for things. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. But at least we could see stuff a little easier. We're getting a lot of mushrooms for meals later. I go into the right first because I think this might be optional stuff. I'm glad I went back though, Chad, because I just realized that it wasn't detecting. Like, I was trying to do my due diligence and searching, but I'm like, oh, right. Ah. They're not doing a lot of damage thanks to our armor increases, at least. That helps. Curiosity. What should we be getting in terms of upgrades here? A couple level 4s already. Oops. She can't quite level up. Oh, these just converge. Sorry about that. Got a door here. Other areas. Again, it's just burning up a lot of seal paper. We'll go down here first, I guess. But it's definitely a shame I'm not getting random coins and XP. That would have been super useful because we're actually pretty low on cash. I'm just gonna shield breaker my way through this. Indoor is kind of whatever. Yeah, this area just kind of goes on and on and on. Hopefully we could get another treasure chest as good as the other one. Stamina recovery is so huge for me. I don't super care about defense as much as I care about just having more dash. I don't have enough energy, that's a shame. It's an easy kill. Now I'm feeling paranoid. I'm like, oh, how is there more? I thought this was a dead end. Damn. I'm not seeing crystals on the walls. It's turning into quite an adventure. Right, chat? Like, okay. Got another optional area. Bug fungi I think was good for healing if I remember correctly. 2-minute items. We were eating this before, yeah, because it gets fire resist and stuff like that. Oh, the random rotations threw me off. Yeah, there I hit up to complete the puzzle, but it didn't work. There I hit left and it didn't work. I don't understand some of the... See, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to figure some of this out with just that many attempts. If it's random and you need to figure out at least 3 of them in one try. Is it left? Will this complete it? Okay, that time it worked. It's just... I feel like it's more RNG rather than skill at this point. The other ones I felt like, you know, I could reasonably figure it out, but... If it doesn't hit the next one and it just rotates randomly, it's kind of hard to figure it out. Another chest. 3,500 in coins is actually a big pickup. I definitely appreciate that. Kind of worth coming this way. Big damage here. Let's finish him. Little damage there, but it's fine. In progress. New contract? What do you mean? Is there another monster we can fight up here or something? Either that, or maybe you get contracts based off the number of enemies you kill? I've never really understood how the contract system worked. If it was just, you hit a certain point in the story or you have to kill X number of creatures. I'm not entirely sure. Big damage. So many sword crystals at this point. I might actually get another level up on him at this rate. There's yet another dead end we didn't explore. Let's go take a look. Grab that Cinnabar while we head out. Man, every time we crit, it does so much damage now. It's the difference between doing 600 and 2600. Like, it's just completely out of control, chat. Like, it really, with all the multipliers stacking and scaling simultaneously, it just gets very silly very quickly. Yeah, I think we found our way to basically cheese the rest of the game. Sword crystals, she should level up at this point. She does an extra 123. Sadly, I don't have more slots for her. Oh, wait, she could double take Onslaught. Never mind. Never mind. You're allowed to stack the same one multiple times. Well, her damage just went up over 200, which I think chat can agree is pretty significant. You gotta be kidding me. There, I hit left to try to finish, and it wasn't left. That's so sad. Man, come on. I keep getting it to 3 open, which is like the solution, and then it's just, I just happen to pick the wrong one, even though visually it looks like it should work. Like, I'm gonna hit right here. Nope, see, that didn't solve it. Just so chat understands. Okay, let me hit up. Just so chat fully understands, like, how confusing that is. Like, wouldn't you have also, because, like, your instinct is, like, the ones that are around it should go in when you press it, but that's not how that works. Oh, he actually hit me out of that. That kind of sucks. Heal our ally up before the next big thing. Assuming there's a chest in here somewhere. Or else, why did you make me come this way? No? Is there not a chest that I open this for nothing other than this gold nugget? Really? There's seriously nothing here? Huh, that's kind of an unfortunate. Okay, so out of curiosity, how many seal papers am I down to now? I'm so glad I got like 1 million of those earlier. Just like to state that. I think I had like 44 or 45 earlier. I saw it was at 31 last time I checked. I'm pretty sure I'm at like 26 or 25, right? Possibly lower because I had to reset a couple times. Brutal. Oh, I'm still 31. I thought it used this. Oh, maybe not. Never mind. I thought that's what was used to open that. Unless it's a different kind of paper. Huh. I don't see any chests in here, though. So I just kind of came in here, fought 2 enemies. No reward? Kind of pointless. I'm, like, double checking. Like, I feel paranoid now that there should have been something in here. But I'm genuinely not seeing it, wherever it is. I would have thought it would have been here. Or, like, up there. Kind of unfortunate, then. Yeah, plus side, at least our companion is doing big damage. And her own damage scales up if the target is frozen. Her crit chance is 11%, which is pretty decent. Much better than our 5%. Not carry any more Maiden Dew. Well, the important thing, chat, is we got haste. I'm sure we could probably make it later. But man, oh man, am I happy to have it now. Fight over. Oh, and then that can crit? Oh, that's disgusting. Why can that crit? Oh my gosh. Okay, that's actually monstrous, chat. Actually monstrous. Oh, come on. Seriously? That wasn't the solution? That wasn't either. Come on. Seriously? Yeah, let's undo that. So down and up both do the same thing. So was the solution like left? No, it wasn't. Game, please. Show some mercy. Wasn't right. Down this time? No.
No mercy!
No mercy indeed. Is it down? Okay, that time it was down. Okay, that time it was. Isn't it before? Like, I know what the winning formation looks like, but if it's just random which one does the thing you want. I have like, what, a 1 in 3 chance of guessing correctly? if I happen to get it into that formation. Like, that's super brutal. And like, yeah, I can undo it sometimes, depending on how many moves it took to get there.
应该是用小刀或者尖石刻在地面上的。
可以辨认出来吗？
有些被划去了，写错的也很多，意思勉强能连起来。我们错了，不该为了捕捉异兽，杀死那么多别的野兽，更不该放火烧山，害了几个隐居在山里的人。我们太贪心，触怒了山神，祈求原谅。这些人果然就是当年的狩猎队。他们说自己做的事触怒了山神。真的有山神吗？
也许是山之灵，虽然罕见，但山的确是可以成灵的。他们几乎不去理会人间之事，狩猎队激怒了他，也不知是在这山中做了多少伤天害理的事。
这所有的一切，都因捕捉异兽而起。我们会被带到山里来，难道也是因为打听这些事情，又惹得山灵发怒了？
若是按我的猜测，则大有可能。100年之间，人世几代，可对于山来说，不过须臾一瞬。这些人闯入山中，肆意屠戮，仿在昨日。
那我们得先找到那个山灵，说明来意，而且有的是问他，可比问别人强多了。
Shadow of the giant beast. They're saying they think because the mountain spirit lives for so long that 100 years essentially is not a very lot of time for them, so they haven't quite forgiven all those involved with the hunts. We just need to explain our purpose here. Maybe things will be forgiven. Guess I should double check to see if there's a chest down here, since now that our search no longer works, I should probably double check. But at least it feels like we're making progress in the dungeon. I do like the way the game kind of splits the XP versus like the weapon upgrades. I would say for like, it kept it somewhat simple, and it definitely benefited from it. There, ooh, that shield breaker damage. Whew. Crazy. You know, I like that now we can customize like the gems. We don't have to... Oh. Yeah, so we are just unlocking new contracts. So maybe we do have to kill enemies a certain amount of times. So, oops. Right, chat? Oops. I guess only some things can be contracted out. So I don't know why else that would have triggered if not for the thing that we're fighting. Oh, I missed aim down. It was a me problem. Wow, it's healing. So it does scaling healing to some extent. So healing like 2,000 health is kind of bonkers. So our already good healing is improved, even more so. I'm gonna press down. I'm gonna press right. I got baited. I'm gonna press left. Press left again. I'm gonna try to press right and win. Nope. Debated. Do I press left to win? Okay, sure. You know what? We'll take that. I feel like articulating it helps explain how confusing that is to try to learn it on the fly. With on top of it rotating, trying to remember how it impacted the other pieces is definitely a level of complexity I don't appreciate. Be honest with you, just like, no. I don't like that. So there's a chest here. Bloodstone and white jade. Okay, I mean, we do need more bloodstone, but it's not like the best reward ever. So like, if chat is like quote unquote playing along, like, isn't that ridiculous? Like how different the solution is every time. Like, okay. I mean, I guess it's kind of neat in a sense that they're building off the base puzzle, but the rotations and everything not behaving the same is just like another layer of confusion. Okay, some normal enemies trying to fight me. I'm almost to the point where I want to skip fighting these. I'm almost there. But honestly, the crystals here are actually decent. So it's kind of hard to justify skipping all of them. You know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty significant increase. If we level one more time, there's definitely no way I want to keep doing it. Okay, I'm going to press right. I'm going to press left. I'm going to press down and win. Nope. Jebaited. I'm going to press left. Nope. We're back to where we were before. Oh, no. Do I hit up? No. Try again. I'm going to hit down. I'm going to hit down again. Hit left. Up. Nope. Down and win? Nope. Brutal. It's just brutal, chat. Like, just actually evil. Konami code. It feels like it. Like, what do you think, chat, of these puzzles? Like, this is just kind of insane, right? Like, the fact that it, like, behaves so drastically differently every time. I just don't even know where to begin with it. Oh, it costs us stone hexes to do this, so we do need to keep fighting those other things. That makes more sense now. Oh my gosh. I'm actually gonna save. This is just eating up the stone hexes. How many do I have left? I've only been picking them up here, I think. Man, there should have been a better way to scroll through this. So it's not using our papers, but how many stone hexes do we have? 11. Brutal. I'm gonna press right. Can I press right again and win? No, I cannot. Can I press down? Can I press left and win? Oh my gosh, come on. Come on. So I had the winning combination again, but I just couldn't figure out what it wanted. Do I press left? No. Do I press right? No. Do I press down? Cut me a break? Not a single one passed? Come on. Please just let me win. Thank you. Right? Like, isn't that just so brutal? Like, come on. It's just like, it literally is just like, okay, I have to press a direction I haven't used yet, and it will either win or just waste time. Just like, why did they do that? Did we even get anything for coming in here? There's no fights. There's no chests. Wow, seriously? So not worth it, chat. There's nothing in here. Come on. Man. What BS. I'm just double checking. Like, I genuinely don't see anything in this room. Not even, like, in the middle of the floor. What a waste of time. I don't think this dungeon is appreciating our own time. That added like 4 minutes to the playthrough. I could have been doing anything else. Yeah, needless to say, we are definitely stopping after this. This dungeon went into like a nightmarish cavern. Wasn't entirely expecting, to be honest. Okay, at least it seems like progress is being made. I'm gonna kill these in case I need more stone hexes. Save my meter for later. Every fight is like 2 stone hexes, so at least it gives me an okay amount of them. But again, like, we're burning somewhere between like 2 and 5 on a door on average. I'm gonna press left. I'm gonna press down. No, that didn't help. I'm gonna press up. Up twice to reset. Press right. Nope. Alright, we're just gonna give up on that attempt. I'm gonna press down. I'm gonna press down again. Press right. Can I press left and win? Nope. It was a guess because it was something I didn't use. Do I press up? Nope. Oh man, come on, game. Do I press right? Nope, that would have been too easy. Do I press down? Okay, there we go. Jeez. So like sometimes I can figure out how to reverse it if I guess wrong, but as I said, it's like a at best like a 33% chance, and sometimes I'm in a way where I figured out how to get it there despite not having any clear indication as to what to do. So it's definitely just like more hard than it should be. Alright, fight over. Had enough of you. So yeah, I think articulating that helps you understand like the absolute chaos of that puzzle. Where I'm just like, it's like 80% guesswork, and then like sometimes I figure out what the things are actually doing. So once I press it, it's like, okay, it made 2 go in versus manipulating 3. So maybe it's one of the ones I haven't used yet. Like sometimes I can make that educational guess, but then there's some times where I get it in 2 moves and I'm like, oh boy. And then neither does what I want, which is brutal. I'm just gonna press right. I'm gonna press down. Press down again. Press right? No, I should have pressed up there. That would have made more sense. Press up? Nope. I tried. Press up. Right. Right. Down. Is up gonna work? Yes. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh, chat. Man, good thing I'm feeling more awake today. This is just brutal. Right, chat? Like just like actually unironically just so brutal. Why is it like this? I'm using like 5 to 6 moves to clear instead of 3, so the complexity is definitely up in general. Plus it's adding in the rotations. So I have to kind of count how many it manipulates, and then also which ones it manipulates, depending on what the state is, will determine what the solution is. So yeah, it's one of those. Oh, another puzzle door. Cut me a break. Right, chat? Cut me an actual break on that one. Please, no more puzzles. Also, our AI companion is not even taking damage. I have not upgraded her armor in an eternity, nor does it seem like I ever need to. Okay, I'm gonna press up. I'm gonna press left. I'm gonna press up again. I'm gonna press up again. Alright, never mind. Didn't do what I wanted it to do. Let's press up. I'm gonna press left. Left. Right? No. Left. Down? Down again? No, it didn't do what I wanted. Oh, man, come on. And as I said before, because it rotates, it doesn't always do what you want it to do. Come on. Is it right? No. The left reversed it. What does left do again in this scenario? Left solves it. Okay. Sure, why not, chat? Sure, and why not? I didn't follow the logic as to what it was doing there, but that's fine. Because it's also like so like, let's say left always opens up like the left and the right side, right? But the other one's also rotated, so it's not even like super consistent in terms of, you know, if this one always opens the top right and like the top left, sometimes you just have a 3 set that you might not be able to do anything with, I think is my takeaway. Is this seriously another room with no items in it? This is getting very rude. Right, chat? This dungeon is actually annoying me. I was mostly having positive things to say about the game, but right now, you're making me mad, GuJian 3. Why did you just put me in an empty room with no monsters, no collectibles? I hate it. What was the point of this room? What was the point of this room other than to waste my time? Did you guys forget? Like, were you Control-C, Control-V-ing and forgot to paste the treasure in there? What happened? Anyway, looks like we're almost done with this at least. Also, I think the stream elements icon broken. I just see elements okay in there whenever you redeem. So, oops, I think they broke something. That's on them, though. I never touched that. Elements is not okay, chat. I'm gonna ignore the flower. I'm pretty sure I'm capped on nearly everything here at this point. So many crystals. Our other companion is going to be so far behind at this point. Hopefully we picked up enough spare ones to at least give her weapon to the same degree. gonna kill these in case I actually unironically need more stone hexes. So lots of mushrooms for cooking stuff later, which is not bad. And nothing over here. Jeez. So many items. Thing of interest there. At least we're at a dead end, so it's likely going to be a boss fight. Oh. I think we found the Mountain Elder. Hello, giant ball of light in the earth.
山之灵，他让我们别再靠近。
你可以和他说话吗？
我试试。他说，既然不是贪婪之人，就回到原处，离开此地。关于当年你来到崖山之时，他会让你看到山的记忆。
山的记忆。多谢。
Go outside the mountain. Well, I fling my dagger at thee, right, Chad? Hello, ghosts of people from the past.
福燕，把殿下交给我。
你也知道他是殿下，那你们现在做的是什么？
当然是在救辟邪族。双王将士是火非福，两位殿下尚且幼小，牙不能言语。轩哥殿下却已经因为吞噬力量的本能伤及到了北洛殿下。若是他们再长大一些，双王相争，彼此轻视，对天禄城来说将是弥天大祸。
所以，你们决意指责其意，选了一个，就要置另一个于死地。
这是王上和长老会共同的决定。
可是，这一切都还未发生，你们不能因为一件尚未发生的事就断去殿下的生路。
你以为我们想这样吗？傅燕，这次来的不止我一个，其他战士很快就会赶过来。你不用再苦苦挣扎了。
既然王妃把北洛殿下托付于我，我就绝无可能将他交给你们。
符砚，就是我通过祭灵族碎晶看到的那名战士。他为了保护我，双王吞噬，所以在旋风台上，我才会不由自主地吸收玄哥残留下来的力量。他也知道，一定会如此。
王的力量竟是霸道如斯，若为双子，便彼此不能相容。
原来当年是因为这样，比我想的最坏的那些已经好上不少。这就是山的记忆吗？
山不变情感，它只会把当初看到过的那些还原出来。
走吧，不知道还会不会有别的。
Well, I guess that explains why the other person knew about the Shadow Chasers basically eating each other, so it was already known before they were born that this was happening. That originally Beilao was supposed to die, which would explain why he was cast out. They were rescued by, it looks like, Fuyan. Let's go see what the mountain's memories are. As it slowly leads us out of the mountain.
北洛殿下，我恐怕不能再保护你了。 追来的战士越来越多，如果我继续将你带在身边，只怕令你更难脱身。看来要在这里分别了。我去引走他们，离开这座山。殿下，您有着属于王辟邪的血脉，必定可以活下去的。你会成为强大无比的辟邪，就算我没法亲眼看见那一天，也会在心里为您祈福。
后来，他们应该都没有再回来过。福燕恐怕早已不在了。
That was rude. You made an enemy attack us right at the end of the cutscene. Well, Rip Bunyan. I mean, it's very unlikely he survived, given we haven't seen him at this point. Right, Chad? How rude of them to attack me on my way out of the mountain. Little swirling portal. Teleport. Is there anything else we want to do here? I don't think so. I tried exploring everywhere. I guess we'll leave. Oh, jeez, Bright White. You gotta warn me, game.
先前我们应当是在山腹之中。
GuJian究竟是谁呢？
或许是山的分灵，也或许他才是真正的山老。
连你都感觉不出的话，山灵是真的很厉害了。
你是不是收敛了外放的妖力？否则山灵定会有所感应。
自从上回那只猫跑了之后，我就一直在练习。如果连这个都不能控制，走到哪儿就吓倒一片，那还要不要出门了？
如今的确是好得多了。接下来你想回天路城吗？
我觉得有些遥远。
远？
我只是想弄清楚，当初究竟发生了什么。可一旦这些东西真的有了眉目，又好像根本不是自己的事。福燕说的王妃，大概就是我的母亲吧。我还是会在心里感激他们，但却已经不会那么愤恨和难过了。过去太久了，当我拼了命想要挣脱出去的时候，却只能被困在这座山里。可如今，我已经走到了山外。让我想一想吧，应该还是会去问问霓裳。
你说的对，既然已经走了出去，回不回来便也不那么重要。我们下山去吧。
幼年飘零，身无所依。山虽不言语，却与我食物，与我清泉，与我遮阳避雨之地。猎人之事，我知道您并非对我有什么必有之情，只是因为天理生杀，不可扰乱。然人世百年，足够白石烂去，沧海重枯。也请您放下怒气，回归寂静。来年开春，我必会上山栽树千株，成林10里，报答昔日的大恩。
So I guess we suppose the young man we saw before potentially was the physical manifestation of the Mountain Elder. This had just been a test for us. When Sen Yang is in the team, yeah, we can't even complete the other one. So we did all that, but we did unlock more things to fight somewhere. I just don't know where. Check to see if any other quests unlocked. But yeah, that was a big detour. I saw things that it was like contract this, contract that. See, maybe I do need to kill certain enemies, but not every enemy has an equivalency, because we definitely killed like a lot of the Soulforge characters, for example, and that did not result in anything. So I guess if it's like a creature versus like a spirit or anything that is like too human, we will end up getting something if it is based in nature. I guess is my takeaway. There's nothing to do there. So presumably, maybe something in the Onyx Kingdom unlocked? Nope. I kind of wish I could see where those other quests were. Like, are they in the Nameless Steps? No. Because we had, like, monster hunting quests, so I just want to be clear. I just don't know where they are, because we didn't really see them anywhere else. Hopefully I didn't miss my opportunity or something weird. Because I didn't see the quest when we opened it up on the main map. Yeah, nothing is there. Alright, what I'm gonna do is go to the Lotus Gate. Maybe it'll tell me briefly. I was hoping I would just see it if it was there. Go to Yanling. Huh? Does it mean the dream world Yanling? Is that why I can't find it? No. But I didn't see anything here. Wait, I'm actually confused. Right, chat? It said Yanling, right? I was just here. I didn't get any prompts. Weird. Yeah, I don't see anything. Unless there's something over here we've never been able to do. Weird. Anyway, I'm gonna pause here regardless. I was just curious if we could find it quickly. Okay, so it must be in an area I can't go to yet. Maybe that's why I can't do anything. So it's probably that passageway I went to go through. I'm curious how many coins we ended up with at the end of all this. Actually, it's in the item menu. Only 4,000. Honestly, the 3,500 coins was the only cash reward we got that whole time, which is kind of brutal. So we could get one more design thing out of the way, I guess. Just looking to see. We didn't unlock anything else, right? Sure, we'll do the last one here, and that'll be the last thing that we do. But man, oh man, that ended up being such a big detour. So we need Ebony, which we haven't seen yet. We did pick up a bloodstone from the other area, which was kind of nice, I guess. See how this goes. I find a fabric super if I handle the part of the stick. What do you recommend? Oh. I don't know. Splice work? No. I got it wrong again. That is unfortunate. One day, Chad, we will get the right answer for this. Let's go ahead and quit out, because I only had that one chance. I think I guessed every option but the right one on that first one. That sucks. Yeah, I'm like, now I should have this. Wait, it took my bloodstone? Wait. Unless it did the quick save. Maybe it loaded the normal save. 1 second. I want the quick save that I just did. I'm like, no. Give me my material back, you jerk. Yeah, there we go. I'm like, I'm not going through that again. Sorry, Chad. Like, no. Well, I mean, there's only one answer left at this point, so I mostly just gotta get there. Cooks, I think, were at least easy enough to stock back up. Or we'll do material return. Maybe this will be useful. I guess the answer is whole lumber, because I guess I think literally everything else.
奇怪了，这个步骤。
Unfortunate. We.
工具好用，干活才快。
Most convenient for making fine stripes. So there's a chisel, firewood, or wooden comb. Comb. Look better with sculpted flowers. So imagine you went the urine. I don't even know what the other options are. Flower bag, I think it said? What? No. You can't carve with a wooden comb. So the other ones were at least pretty straightforward, but yeah, the other one I was like, the knowledge you want from me is not reasonable. Oh, I got my bloodstone back, so that kind of worked as intended. Everybody's burned out. Anybody else I could just level cheaply? You, maybe. So even though they're not, like, ideal at it, we do know that leveling them does help a lot. I don't think there's anything else I really want at this point. Okay, so the other area didn't unlock here. I was curious if that did actually give us anything new, but it appears it did not. Yeah, we got the duck already from there. I don't remember if we got sesame buns or not. Check later. It's not that hard to get if we didn't get it. We definitely got Bone Lantern. Guess I could send people for the sake of sending them. Oh, literally everybody is burned out. Cool. Right, chat? Cool. Yeah, the harvest monsters are definitely the most disappointing because I just don't see a purpose in them, to be honest with you. Like, what do they do? Just, like, automatically order them? Like, is that all they do? It's not like the other ones where it's mandatory to do this to get anything. So, I don't know. Anyway, let's pause here. We managed to do as much as we could, honestly. Let's chat a little bit. So I think from the standpoint of the gameplay, we fought a harder boss today. Like, it was actually genuinely more interesting because it had, like, a phase 1, phase 2. I didn't really like the sub-boss before that with the trigrams, with the homing swords, because it just didn't give you an indicator the attack was coming, which is kind of nonsense. Like, it does it when it first launches, but then it comes back like 8 seconds later, and if you're not looking at the same direction that they're coming from, you don't see them until they're basically on you, which means you can't block them because you're facing the wrong way, number one. And then number two, dealing with 3 sets of that coming from different directions while also not looking that way is just kind of nonsense. And not all the attacks home, so there's 2 that look very similar, but only one of them home. So it's like, I was not a fan of that. But hey, I'm a fan of the knockdown monster. That thing is going to be disgusting on mini bosses. It already worked on a more challenging boss, which is interesting. And I think with our new upgrades to the weapons, we should just be doing insanely broken damage at all times. So I think higher level, we're going to end up trying to mess with shadow clones. But right now, with the crit multiplier and the crit chance up, and all those other skills giving us very minor healing, hopefully I don't really ever have to menu to heal again. I should just innately recover enough and do it, or proceed further and be fine. I could technically remove the healing on using skill and instead take like elemental resistance so I don't get burst as much, because having like 25 to 26% resistance I think would actually be pretty strong over healing 60 health, assuming I could build up a decent combo. So I might experiment with that in the future to see if I could just face tank certain bosses. But anyway, that's it for now for GuJian, so let's go ahead and say goodbye to YouTube. So if you did watch to this point in the video or the VOD, I'd just like to say thank you for watching, and see you again next time.